How can I pop
Hello,
out the tree?
welcome. This is Here Be Dragons. There's a lot of interesting chat going on.
So just
Um,
right off the bat,
Hail Hydra. Uh, yeah, for those of you who missed, light spoiler, this isn't Red Skull and crossover into the Marvel Universe. This is actually a bit more fun. Last episode, there was a Hydra fight. We'll just leave it at that. Today we have all fresh characters. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're all still here. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Before we dive in, the only thing I'm going to shout out here is you guys. Thank you for following and liking and subscribing and tipping and giving bits and all of the fun stuff you can do here that support us. There's a few things we do with that. We are getting more and more icons and emojis in chat. You can see hype getting thrown in there. We've got a few new emojis as we unlock tiers as you guys subscribe. So thank you for the resub. And then we also have a little bar down below me. Sorry about the laggy camera there, but down below me here, you'll see a little bar that's Penguin Witch Doctor. You guys can beat up on Penguin Witch Doctor by following, liking, subbing, and any of the other things here. And Penguin Witch Doctor can defend himself by doing the same. Whoever takes that new spot gets to give a nat 20 to someone at the table here, or on screen because we're not at the same table. COVID space. We're not at the same table here. Oh, oops, sorry, cameras. But what we do with that is we build our show out. So thank you for your support. And Sarah BC1 is coming in hot at Penguin Witch Doctor. Sorry, buddy. I put a little target on your back. I believe in you. Players, let's describe the scene. Where were we left? How were we settled or unsettled at the end of last show?
So we killed a Hydra.
Hail Hydra.
Eventually.
After
Eventually.
6 of its heads almost killed me. And then we decided to make some Hydra armor. So Thad and I rolled up our sleeves and are, putting our blacksmithing skills to use.
I think it's actually sword skills and knife skills to remove the flesh right now, but yeah.
I've skinned a salmon before. About the same thing, right?
Only thousands and thousands of times.
Scaled, I guess, is
Larger,
technically
I
the
guess.
term.
yeah, salmon don't have skin.
Yes, I do. It is called salmon skin.
I mean, the scale's attached to something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Magic.
is my skin. It's attached to underflesh. That's how
It's
it
called
works.
muscle.
It's dermis. It's your epidermis attached to your dermis, attached to your
Right. So
subdermis.
fish have dermis,
Come on.
skin.
Underflesh.
Anyway.
So they're currently digging at the underflesh of this Hydra. Yeah.
Allowed.
Those two are.
Yeah.
The sentence you've said.
I'm getting teeth, and I'm making everyone a nice necklace we all get a nice tooth necklace. On Garth, it's probably gonna be like this giant thing.
A
Look like a
Hail
bolo
Hydra
top.
friendship necklace.
Yeah.
Right?
And I get two more. I get two extra. I'm gonna next time I see Rumiel, I'm gonna have a nice Hydra necklace, and I'm gonna be like, I'm probably gonna tell him it died of natural causes. To be honest. But then I also have
Unnatural.
one for Lord Draklin that I know he's not gonna wear in public because he fancy. But I'm gonna do it anyway.
You just dip it in gold, right?
You should give him one that's bloodied. That's got blood on it. It's like dirty.
Y'all, that hype bar it's looking real low. Sarah gifting subs out the gate.
Alrighty. So we are at a bloody, gruesome scene next to a pond. Just to the northeast of this pond, there were a couple small homes. They were decimated by the Hydra, which caused this battle. The party rushed in and, with a lot of force, took this Hydra down and is now deciding to rest. Party, how does that look for you? Are you taking it easy for a little bit, blood soaked in your garments, or are you gonna like wash and set up camp for the night? Are we gonna camp here for a week and really pull this thing apart? What are we doing?
I'm definitely rinsing off. There is a pond. I don't want to smell like Hydra.
Penguin Witch Doctor
Whoa.
went off!
Whoa!
Sarah almost had him. He defended.
Penguin Witch Doctor is defending in chat. So those of you listening in on our podcast, I'll use this moment to say, hi, podcasters. We do have podcasts every week. We have this show up a couple days after show. You can listen to us on any major podcast provider. But our chat is having fun with the Hype Boss bar that you've probably heard us talk about. We had a defend, so we've got a battle.
Also, new goal. We are at 37 of 50 sub points. If we hit 50, we get yet another emote. With those gifted subs and the bits from Sarah, we just unlocked our next emote slot.
And I have a feeling that the next emote is in the works right now, and it's gonna be pretty bomb.
It's just going to be Nathan's
Will
face
it be
because
pretty?
They're all going to be Nathan's.
Or pretty bomb. Oh,
It's a pretty explosive. What?
Nathan eating a vegetable.
What?
Yes.
Anyways, I think one night should be sufficient because we do still have a mission. Getting back to the thing we're doing, we do still have a mission we want to get to. But Ari took 6 Hydra smacks.
Oh man!
Sorry, Hype Bosses. Sarah BC1 is back in action.
She took it. The boss.
What we're going to do for the rest of this episode is we're just going to commentate on the two fierce contestants. It looked like there was a natural 20 rolled from Sarah BC1. She comes up from behind and stabs right in the back with a twist of this nice, ugly, rusty dagger. Penguin Witch Doctor falls to his knees. Oh,
Let's see.
But
Witch Doctor.
honestly, I just want to call out, thank you, Sarah and Penguin Witch Doctor, for all those gifted subs. That's so generous and so cool. Anyways, because that's 33 subs between 43 subs between the two of them.
Something like that. But you guys feel free to give us names of who you want to get that D20. We will extend the fun. Penguin Witch Doctor, please call out one person. Sarah BC1, please call out 2 people. We will do nat 20s, 3 of them.
Wow.
With all of the love you've been giving us.
Dang.
But we are setting up camp for the evening and slicing into this wonderful Hydra. I'm assuming we're making some Hydra steak for the night.
We
Astro,
make Hydra steaks.
Mhm.
Oh,
Hydra steak. Astro is there gnawing on what's probably a toe bone because that's the smallest bone he could find accessible. Anything else going on before we
I'm
set up
just
camp?
curious.
Yeah.
After we eat Hydra steak, if somebody cuts off our head, do we get 2 new ones?
Let's try it. Who's the first to go?
I'm not gonna volunteer. I'm just
Do you
curious.
want us to cut off your head now?
No. I've just never had Hydra before.
I'll leave this game in my players' hands. If you want to try something, be my guest. I will gladly play this out with you.
I try Hydra steak. That's it. Garth has taken some notes as well. He's counted out paces for this is how long the Hydra was, and each of its necks was this long, and its teeth, and he's taken some very detailed notes on the Hydra itself and what battling it was like. But yeah, I think at a certain point, he's I don't think he got bloody. I didn't get bit. I sure as heck wasn't close enough to get Hydra blood on me. So he's probably just just a little bit of freshening up. Yeah, thank you, Penguin Witch Doctor, for that nat 20.
And thank you, Sarah BC1.
And thank you, Sarah.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like descaling and skinning this thing is gonna take all my time. Yeah,
Yeah.
Good chunk of your day. I mean, this battle happened mid-morning or so. So yeah, you got your work cut out for you.
I'm not really having anything to do with any of that. I think last I said I was laying on the ground.
In your scorched earth from
In
your
my scorched earth. But
Yeah.
I've probably headed over by the lake, and I probably have like, oh, they're doing all this stuff. I might as well, like clean my stuff up. So I'm probably washing some stuff in the lake and including Astro, throw him in and just like wrestling with him. And then I probably like spend some time like since they're all preoccupied, I definitely want to eat, so I'm gonna cook, but I'll probably make enough to share or whatever. So that's probably what I'm doing, just resting and doing the chores, I guess.
I think Garth's also gonna go over to Ari during one of her breaks because I'm guessing she's not gonna be skinning a Hydra the entire time.
The whole time.
But he's gonna walk over and he's gonna, because she keeps taking a lot of hits, and so he's gonna make an offer to her. Ari, I was wondering. You see, I've noticed, you do worry about it often. The number of times you get hit and how much it pains you, and
The number of times I've died.
yes, more than most people I know. But well, as you're royalty, I feel in royalty before the rest of us were royalty. Thadric, I don't remember if we told you we were royalty. Might still be. I think technically are. I don't think they figured that out yet. Anyway,
We
as
did
you are,
just leave.
as you are,
I didn't vote for you.
well, right.
That's
And
not
I don't
how
think it's- Yeah,
royalty
it was a magic
works.
stone type thing. We didn't know it was going to happen. It just did. But anyway, since you, in fact, were royalty before us, I just feel I need to protect you more. That ring we've discussed a couple of times that you wear, I try to help as much in battle as I can, and I realize that I don't often get into place of the line of fire. Perhaps, and he takes one ring off of his finger, this ring, if attuned to you, perhaps we could work out a way that it would locate me were I invisible, so that you always know where your companions are. And I could take the ring on your finger, and when you are looking in dire straits, I could give you some of my life force.
That's pretty generous.
Well,
This is just because you think I'm a princess.
no, not just because I.
Because
think
we
so.
still don't really know. It was just a book, and
You, I do, but well, and then the other people
It's
said,
it's a good idea.
"Are you sure?"
Did we just witness a proposal and/or marriage?
No.
Will you take this
Give
ring?
it on
I'll
this
take that
hand.
ring.
I can officiate.
You're not really my type.
Oh,
But
is it because he's short?
No, it's not. It's not about this.
no, he's not possessed by the Dragon King, and
Look, everyone knows she's in love with Ebron, who is dead. Thank you.
thanks.
I just look. I understand. I know it probably feels like I do more talking than help around here, and I just want to be of more help.
I get that.
He puts on the ring on this finger. That finger.
It had been Garth's ring, so let's be honest, it's probably on my pinky.
Yeah, maybe
I
I've got.
now pronounce you halfling and white.
No, stop, Patrick. We're not getting
I
married.
just start like elbowing Valari. Not hard enough to trigger
I go,
anything.
I was gonna say.
Oh, moderate awkward. Thanks. Get back to hacking.
Man, the Hellhound was here. I'd have him like carry flowers and shake his head and throw them everywhere.
Now that those shenanigans are over, early evening approaches, about dinner time. A couple carts and horses have gone past as you are all doing your thing today. Most of them had slowed down to take a little peek at what was happening, see this giant beast all bloody, battered, and cut up. And then, as evening approaches, the first person to actually come closer rides up on a small wagon that bumps awkwardly across a very flat stretch of grass. So the wheels are misshapen. You can see that it's a very old cart. The horse itself is quite old, and the man sitting at the very front of the cart is following suit just the same. A little bit old and worn down. You see in the back of this cart, a box kind of bounces a little bit, and he rolls to a stop about 30 feet from all of you, hops down and hobbles over.
So, you killed whatchamacallit? What are you doing with this thing?
Skinning it for armor.
Also meat. I got some teeth. I hold up a bunch of teeth.
I stick my head out from like a cut in the body. We're making awesome things, my dude.
Well, that's horrifying. All covered in blood. Well, I'm just here to see if there's anything you'd like to trade. I'm seeing that do you have a wagon around here to carry all this stuff?
No, we don't.
Well, I can take a little bit of it off your hands. You just need to tell me what it is and what I could do with it. There's plenty of meat there. Have you tasted it? Is it good?
We're cooking it up right now. This was a hydra.
All right. Oh, okay.
All 9 heads. And you can eat it. You can... we're making some armor.
I mean, there's also 4 sets of long claws
True.
could be used.
Make a piano.
Teeth as well. 9 heads.
Compliment. Don't forget about the magical blood.
The magical blood?
Magic, you say? Huh. Well, I got a few vials in my chest over there. Let me get some.
And he hobbles off at a very slow, painful speed and comes back a couple minutes later with a handful of vials in a tray.
So, can I get some of that magical blood? I'll trade you. I'll trade you some stuff.
Yes, why not?
Fine by me.
Have some blood.
What would you like for this?
Well, what do you have? We've laid out what we have here. Very well. It was kind of pretty obvious what we had here.
Well, so I'll take some of this blood, and I need some of the meat. I'll sell some of that. I'll toss a few £100 in there. Well, I would trade you the cart, but I need that.
The cart.
I do have a large cottage to the north that I could trade for you. I don't get up there much. My travels are just very local, as you see. I'm quite fit still.
And he lifts up his arm, and there's very little muscle, and his skin hangs. He lets out a little chuckle and looks across the group.
So, you see, I don't travel very far. It's about a day's travel north. If you wish, I can give you the deed and the keys.
We aren't really from around here.
Okay.
But hold up. But I mean, look. Sometimes you own a place and then you rent it out to others, and then they send you payments. It's just a way of growing your
Assets?
Yes.
Well, if that doesn't suit your fancies, the only other thing that I have is a nice little skiff that's down at a dock by Stonehaven. I don't get on that much. It's the magical skiff. It can go quite quickly in the water, but it'll blow your wig back.
Sir, this is natural.
Yes.
And he pats the misshapen lump of hair on his head.
Sorry. I meant, anyways, we're going to Stonehaven, so a boat could be cool, right?
That could be helpful. I mean, it would help us. We could take the coastal route back to our home, but with our horses being gone, Gerald.
Well, if you wish for that, I'll give you the key that holds the lock that keeps it at the little dock down in the river, just outside of town. If you want that.
Okay.
I'm fine with this. Anyone else cool with trading the rest of the Hydra for
Magic boat.
Whoa. The how much Hydra are you trying to get me to put on my cart?
No, as much as you can take. That's what I meant. Just that
Okay. It's not my doing that I wish to have all of this Hydra mess. Too
What's
much for me to handle.
what do you have bouncing around in the back of your cart there?
Well, I have an old blade that I use for cutting up things or defending myself. It's not much, a bit rusty. These vials that are now going to be filled with blood, and a small bedroll. Just like I said, travel very short distances, but sometimes you need a nap.
I will say, every now and then, well, our friend Thadric is good with honing a blade for betterment, or even Ari here. Would you like one of us to help you a little bit more and give it a nice sharp edge?
Oh, that would be swell. Let me go wrestle that up.
And he sets the vials down on the ground and hobbles back. And again, a couple minutes later, he walks over with the blade in hand, a dirty rag under the blade, and his hand on the hilt. He lifts it up for one of you to take.
Dad, why don't you help him out and I'll get 100 pounds of Hydra coming right up.
If you could just put it right in the back of my cart, dearie.
Okay.
Thank you.
Looking at the blade, because I don't have an actual forge here, but I can take the time and essentially create an exact facsimile but sharp.
Yeah.
I'll do that magically.
All right. Yeah, as you look at the blade, it seems to be an older relic that might have been used in a war. The handle was very ornate, but it is beaten up and a bit worn in spots. The bindings of the leather have all but fallen apart, and the blade's got some nice little nicks all across it. It's barely sharp enough to cut into anything, so you have no fear just grabbing it and able to do that.
I want to like heft it about and like check its balance and make sure it's not like gifted in any way.
As you hold it and move it about, you can tell that it was once balanced quite well, but it might have lost a bit of the weightiness, as it seems that the handle is broken and mended a few times over. Maybe something fell out of there, so it's a little off balance now. But based on the grip, it feels like it was once a very fine weapon.
Okay. Yeah, I'll disappear behind a building or rubble or something and reappear a little bit time later with a blade that looks identical except new.
Perfect. Anyone else doing anything? Ari's loading meat. He does have some vials that he'll need to fill. Valari, are you still on the other side of the lake washing, or have you come around? What's going on with you?
Well, no, I had said that I had come around and
Okay,
was
yeah.
cooking and stuff, but I think I'm just not into this whole hacking up the Hydra thing, so I'm just kind of just sitting by a rock. I think I would have, like, at one point pulled out my crossbow that I have now, and, like, I guess I'm just still, like, contemplating it, looking it over, looking for anything else on it that might give me any kind of clues or anything.
Roll me a d20.
16.
16. As you're again inspecting this weapon that you've had for a little bit of time now, you do notice that as you sweep your hand across the Vel engraving, it does kind of sparkle and shine just a little bit, and almost reacts to your touch and your touch alone.
Okay.
The real Gobshite just smashed through and is now our hype boss, and Valari gets a nat 20.
Yeah, we were really close to that last emote unlock, and it was taunting me, so I just did it. I just did
well,
it.
well, thanks.
Aw.
Thanks for gifting those subs, and thanks for the 20.
So now every player has a natural 20. Just saying.
Go. We're just sitting on them.
I
Same.
still have a reroll from like
Me too.
3 games ago.
Let's start killing things. Or roll a history check on something, Lindsay.
Yeah.
What?
Fight this traitor guy. Take his wagon.
Just murder. Don't mind the bill on the credit card. I'm gonna get myself a no.
But you
Just
said
kidding. Yeah, so the VEL on the Valari or on the Vel crossbow reacts as you are investigating it and wiping your hand across it. It sparkles and glows. It seems to almost acknowledge your presence.
So upon seeing that, I imagine I would like test it a couple times, and then I'm gonna like low-key like look over, and I see like, okay, like they're still doing their thing, so nobody probably saw that, so I'm gonna like put it away for now, and then probably, you know, play fetch with Astro or something, like shoot some arrows and have him bring it back.
Do you want the Hydra's gallbladder or like pupil to use?
No, we're using arrows.
Okay.
It's a disc to throw.
And I imagine like sometimes he gets extra excited and he like blinks forward and tries to like catch it like sideways in the air, you know. So we're just
Like dogs do.
we're just having a good time.
A bit of time later, the cart is full of meat, and the old man has gotten to fill the vials with some of the blood, and Patrick comes back around with the blade. Patrick, with the blade, how do you present that to the man?
I still a decent distance away, but I want to swing it, and again, kind of like I'm checking the balance, but I know it's balanced at this point.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll kind of toss it, grab it by the blade itself, and then over the arm, like a sommelier of swords, as it were.
He looks up at you. A very fine sword. How did you return its original luster?
I want to pull my cloak back and point at the original, and be like, magic.
Well, you may keep that old blade for yourself if this one.
And as the man holds the sword up, you see a spark kind of go behind his eye as he remembers holding the blade originally.
Oh, that brings me back to my days of service and fighting dragons and beasts like this. Thank you. The skiff is yours, and the magic is a bit crude. In order to get it to go quite quickly, you must offer the skiff a return of magic. I would say there's a small compartment at the front. Drop a magical item in there that you may or may not care about, and the skiff will go as quickly as you need it to for the rest of the day. But the item may not come back in the same shape you once knew it is. Good luck in your travels.
And he hobbles off to his
Sir,
cart.
Yes?
we never got your name.
Oh, I'm Old Morrow.
Old Morrow.
Yes. My father was Great Old Morrow, and my son is Oldest Morrow. We have a weird tradition of naming one's children in a cyclical fashion. One day, my son will be Oldest Morrow, and his name will make sense.
What's his name now?
Oldest
Oldest Morrow. He'll
No.
be the oldest Morrow and Oldest Morrow.
You never thought of naming one of your children Tom?
Or just Morrow? Younger
Morrow? Oh, man. You kids and your naming schemes.
I would like to roll a history check on the lore of Old Morrow.
Grand
Sure.
Old Morrow. We want to know about his dad first.
And I'm going to use a portent.
Here we go.
I haven't. Look, we're gonna take a long rest in a little bit. I got an 18. I'm sitting on plus
18.
6. That's a 24. Tell me everything about this man,
Yeah,
Jerry.
well, what you do understand is you remember hearing about the Morrow clan while you were in Standing Rock. Their name goes back through all the history books, and you get this moment of aha when you see Old Morrow and Oldest Morrow and various things in the history books that it's not speaking of like a legend that lived forever, but more of a lineage now, and it makes sense. They were actually known to be well-traveled mercenary family for a while, and then they turned into a family that traveled and sold trinkets from their battles and their travels. So they would collect many magical items, and so the reason that you recognized that is there were some items that had caught your eye. You had seen before you lost your blink dagger. Well, you'd seen that they had blink swords and other things that operated very similar that were just weapons of mass destruction when used in the right hands. So at this point, this man almost becomes kind of this legend in the back of your head.
In the back of my head, I'm just like, I really hope he left some good stuff on that boat. Think what a cottageful would have done. And I will just keep that to myself. Because I'll actually also say, shh, that's not a lawful good thought.
Quiet, inner Garth.
Could always change.
Today we have the BBEG. Garth, that is playing.
I meant change your mind about what we took.
Oh, no. I thought you might change my alignment.
No.
Or your clothes.
I want to walk over to Ari, and I want to hand her the other blade, just the same way, and be like, as a wedding gift. And then I go back to cutting things up.
I take the flat side of the blade and like give him a gentle thwack on the back as he walks away.
Ari, as you
you
pick this up, you too feel that it was a wonderful blade at one point. It's actually a short sword, currently in a -4 state.
Cool.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That guy wasn't going to hit nothing.
Yeah.
If anything, he was just gonna give himself tetanus.
Basically. So you now have a short sword -4 in your possession, if you wish to keep.
Great.
Anything else for the evening before you turn in?
I'm good. Anyone? Anyone else need to do anything?
I'll set Linus up, like kind of behind the biggest part of the rubble, just where it feels like we have the most cover.
All right. Any campfires, any guard? How does the shift look for the night before we talk about what Linus sets up to be tonight?
We should probably have a guard tonight. Switch hour-long shifts. I can take first watch.
Yes. I mean, I think every 2 hours, perhaps.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Just since, there have been a lot of weird things following
People
us.
after us.
Like a height.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Hydras
there's
are
that.
not people.
But also the person controlling the Hydra, because he was like, "What you doing with my Hydra, yo?"
Anyways, I think we all remember the things that have been following us. How about we get some sleep?
All right.
Yeah, I'll sleep whenever.
All right. As you set up the tent this evening and begin your cool down for the night and setting up for the shift, you step into Linus, and you know that it's changed based on who's thrown it or the situation. And this time, you see a small lake about 40 feet in, made of blue pillows, and a couple pillow goblins standing there, 4 to be precise, with painted pillowcases on that look similar to your garb. And out from under the blue pillows comes a pillow kraken. A pillow hydra. And the pillow hydra begins attacking, and you see a small battle that somewhat looks like what you guys had done. And one of the pillow goblins from off by the door that usually holds cookies comes up with a sign, and the sign says "Welcome, heroes." And as he holds the sign up in front of you all, the 4 replica pillow goblins of yourself end up beating this Hydra into a bunch of stuffing, and stuffing flies everywhere. And then they're just clapping their hands very silently. It's going plop, 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 plop. And then they all just dab right in front of you.
Oh my God.
Yo, Quest and Chaos rating with 21. Welcome.
Yes! Welcome, Raiders.
So, welcome, Raiders. We just described a scene where a magical pillow fort that the players had just welcomed them in for the night.
I'm curious though, after they finish beating
Yeah,
the
yeah.
little pillow thing to a pulp,
Yep.
do they go, shoo, and do you hear like a little mutter?
No, the pillow goblins themselves don't speak, aside from the one time that you had encountered the eldest pillow goblin.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping.
No, they seem to have shown you a bit of respect for what you've done, but they don't speak to you about it. They have the sign, they have the reenactment, but they do have a few beds set up for you. Next to the beds is a small wrapped package. And you can see that the wrapped package is a clear or a semi-transparent cloth. You can see stacks of cookies in there for your day ahead.
I'm gonna grab some cookies and then sit up by the front. Be like, good show, guys. That was a good show. Thank you. Very believable.
And as you set up for the night and the shifts ensue, it is by the 4th shift that it goes quite quiet out. And I believe you had chosen an order. Did you state that fully earlier? Okay.
I don't believe
Well,
so.
I'm going to give you an order as you go through.
Ari's first. That's all we know.
Yeah,
Ari's first. So it looks like it is Valari's watch at this point. Her and Astra are sitting by the front of the tent, and the ground begins to rumble a bit. And a few hundred feet out from the tent, in the moonlight, she sees the ground kind of crack up and move this crack like something's underneath, and it goes shooting off towards the forest where you had met the Eladrin the other day. And the silence that follows it, nature seems to go empty. The crickets that you had heard moments before and the rustling just stops. So after the rumble and the silence, Valari, you and Astor are sitting there, and Astor is standing up tall, all of his hair bristled, and he looks like he had just about pooped himself there.
Dogs can't do that. Less embarrassingly than us.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna step into the tent, and I don't want to get near any of them because they're all sleeping. So I'm gonna use a couple things. First, I'm gonna use prestidigitation. I'm gonna make like it bright in there, and then I'm gonna use my thaumaturgy and be like, "Wake up!" Except it comes out really loud and kind of booming and like. So.
I feel like Ari would probably awake with a snore, like a loud, like,
And throw a pillow.
Sword drawn, ready for like Bleary attack.
Avasti! I'll not be taken to sleep. Come on! Ha!
Are you having pirate dreams?
Huh?
I feel like I grabbed the Hydra pillow corpse and just like over my head.
You have two heads kind of like flopped over
Yeah.
you.
Perfect like earmuffs of Hydra face.
I use Mage Hand and like pull the pillow away from his head, and I go again. I said, "Wake up!"
What? We're awake.
I'm here.
What is it?
Yeah, no, the ground just rippled towards the forest.
Say it again. Sorry, someone was talking in my ear.
The ground just ripple towards the forest.
Which direction? Towards Stonehaven or from whence we came?
Away from Stonehaven to the Eladrin Forest.
To the Eladrin forest. To the forest.
That's not good.
Probably just the Eladrin.
I will run outside and look. Like, is it?
No, like it like went and then it got like really calm and quiet.
Yeah, but I want to see. I would want to see the. You said it. A thing went through. I want to see what that looks like. What the Earth looks like after it. If it's still like up. If it looks. Garth wants to see for himself what it looks like.
Garth, as you peek your head out of the tent, you see a few hundred feet out on what once was a flat ground. The moonlight hits harshly on the ground that is now sticking up, stones kind of protruding, bits of earth like lumped up as if something was not too far under the surface, something large that at a few hundred feet out you could see that detail. There's a few spots that look like it had sunk in as maybe this thing had moved and almost swum under the grass.
Would I roll? What would I roll to have an inclination towards what kind of creature would do this? Would that be a history? Would that be?
Yeah, you could have a history roll. You could have a nature roll. You could just do a flat out roll to see if Garth waking up would have a clue.
His history would be an A19.
A 19. As you recall some of the books that you had read, there are creatures, very few and far between, at least in your world, that move below the surface. They tend not to come up unless provoked or attacked. They tend to be around the Underdark, and what you see there are bullets, which are a bit smaller, more shark-like. And I can't recall. I believe this group had fought a bullet. Oh no, it was one of your other sets of characters. Sorry. In the summer, you did face off against a bullet, so Garth didn't know that. But they're shark-like rhinoceros creatures that kind of live under the ground. You know that there's other giant burrowing creatures, and the one that you do think about is the giant purple worm that usually terrorizes the Underdark.
So after I woke them all up and told them, I imagine since it was my watch and because I have dark vision, I would have gone back out and like knowing where the ripple went and everything, I would have just started like going that direction to see what
Yeah,
was
Garth
going on.
Garth would be right there. Garth, do you follow or do you stay behind as Valari kind of pushes past and heads towards this?
Just remind me, this was only the second watch?
It was
This was
third
this is
watch.
the third watch here.
Third watch. Okay.
Yes. So what we had missed, what we had was we had Ari, and then we had Thadric, and we had Valari. It was just prior to your watch, Garth.
Just prior to my watch. Okay.
Yep.
I think Garth would say, Valari, this could be a beast unlike we've ever encountered. What, as you asked me once, what is your plan?
Well, I don't know what just happened, so I'm gonna go see what that is.
By my calculations, it is a large creature, possibly from the Underdark. I do not know that we could defeat it, yes, but we have people in need of us to the south.
I mean, if it's not a threat, then okay.
Well, with any luck, the Eladrin are still around. It is heading towards their lands.
Didn't we see at least one of the Eladrin?
I think we heard.
We saw part of a cape.
Yeah, we saw part of a cape. We didn't see anything else of Eladrin. And I will ask this to Jared. In all of our digging around inside of a Hydra, we didn't find any Eladrin, did we?
You found remains that were pretty hard to understand what they were. The Hydra has a very acidic stomach, so as soon as you cut into that stomach lining to see what was in
Oh,
there,
I'm not going into that.
there was a foul smell, and you did see a few bones. And as the stomach lining opened up, the acid ate through the flesh very quickly. So you understood that whatever was in there hadn't been in there very long. Otherwise, it'd be completely gone. So you're not
I'm
sure
so
if it
sorry.
was Eladrin or others.
To any listeners who are attempting to watch this while eating.
Soup.
Yes.
Specifically soup.
Split pea soup.
I'm sorry to anyone who's eating soup.
Just a bad
Sorry.
choice for a midday meal. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I've said
yeah,
it.
Come on.
It's a hot take, but I've said it.
I love soup for lunch. Just
Now, hey, some people could be on the East Coast. It's cold.
Dinner, and they decided to tune into a show where we
A nice
beat
hearty
things up.
potato soup, some cheddar,
Mm.
some bacon. Like, I'm down for that.
Anyways,
Anyway.
we digress.
Here be soup.
Yum. All right. So you
I come
you
out of
don't
the
know.
tent with my pants, but still putting my pants on because it takes a while to get dressed.
What?
Rumil's here. Oh,
No,
It's like,
there was a technology mishap. One of my scripts just misfired.
we being punked.
We are being punked. He's in ghost form.
Wait, was he the giant purple worm?
he was
No.
that weird, creepy murder trader the whole time.
All right. Look, Valari, is this something you wish to pursue? If
look,
so,
I said if it's not a threat, then that's fine.
It's not coming towards us.
it could be another thing after the stone. If anything, it's just another sign that we need to be moving. But I do believe the rest of you still need some rest. It is my watch.
Right, we ate dinner. We're
Yes, but sleep. You've only slept 4 hours.
almost 6. It was at the end of her watch.
Yes, and you took the first watch, and then
But we ate dinner and we sat and
Look,
watched
I'm
things
just
for
doing-
like 2 hours.
You would have slept 4 hours, Ari. You
It
slept
was-
through 2 watches.
It was the end of your watch, which is almost 6, but we also had
you were the
You
first
would have
watch.
slept for 2 watches.
Did you sleep for your watch?
light activity and sitting, whatever. If we need more time, I'll go back to sleep. But we had almost a full day. Yes, I was hacking up Hydra.
I had a long rest because I haven't done anything all day. Then I slept for the first 4 hours and then I did a watch, which I would say is actively not resting.
Oh, I rest on
Hashtag
watch.
rules.
But I mean,
And I'm going back to bed.
I'm awake, whatever.
Oh,
Bye,
here's
guys.
the thing. Hold up. We'll ask the DM. How does Ari feel? Does she feel like she's gotten a long rest?
I would say at this point, Valari and possibly Garth would be full rest. Ari and Thadric with their work prior and the watches would probably need another hour or 2 rest before it would be a full rest for them.
Okay, then I'm going back to bed.
All right. I will take the final watch. Valari, I understand you were awake, and this probably startled you even more. Everyone can rest easily, and as soon as, again, it will just be a couple more hours, and then we can be on our way. I just want to make sure everyone is at full strength.
All right. Back to bed in a couple more hours. The sun comes up, and there's a mist that settles in across the ground, only about a foot or so deep. And you see a bit of it twirl here and there as the breezes blow. A little bit of the mist seeps into the tent as the sunlight comes in. Garth, do you believe this is the time that your companion should be ready to get moving, or at least stir for the rest of the day?
All right, I will wake everyone up. Not as jarringly as Valari did. I think I'll probably even work with the pillow goblins to get some of the nice muffins they've made, and anything else that they have prepared. Maybe a bit of tea. I know we were out of Java, but just kind of get those over to the bedside tables and Cedric, bit of food for you, nice muffin. Ari, I know it's not Java, but here's a cup of tea.
Ugh.
Valari,
I'm sitting out by the lake.
Valari. Oh, that's right, I saw her outside. Well, you two, when you have your wits about you, we'll pack up, get going. Cedric, did you wake up when I talked to you? Cedric, are you there?
Cedric is having voice issues. Either he's muted himself or became mute overnight. No.
Oh, no. Cedric.
Did you make a deal with the sea witch?
Oh no! Cedric!
Oh dear.
I slap him across the face. I don't actually do that.
Cedric suffers muteness for about 15 minutes there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Damn it.
No.
That's it.
That's the microphone that's on the floor, far away. Hold on.
When I startled him awake, it
I'm still
scared
under
the
the
voice
pillow.
out of him.
He's
Oh,
still
yeah.
under
Yeah,
the
that
pillow.
would
That's
do
what you're
That would
hearing.
do it.
Do I pull the pillow off my head now?
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
you
You
do.
pull it off
Right.
successfully.
All right. I don't know what happened there. It must have been when your script broke,
It might have been.
because it wasn't my fault. I didn't touch nothing. Nothing.
I changed your computer settings.
Anyway,
Took your
I
voice.
finished putting on pants.
Well, that only took you 2 hours.
They're
How-
complicated.
Sleeping without them. We share a tent, you weirdo.
Who's under the blanket?
Let's get going.
I'm gonna sleep comfortable.
Look, he still
I
has his
shake
pantaloons on.
Shake out the tent extra vigorously.
All right. As you do that, it turns back into its blanket and rolls up nicely that you can attach to your bag. The mist still is at your feet as you begin walking. Anything else you wish to do before you set off towards Stonehaven, I believe, correct?
Yes.
I think
And no.
Garth would just like give a look to the surroundings, a look to the sky, a look backwards over his shoulder. He is looking to see if anyone is like watching them or on their tail.
Aren't we in the middle of a field?
You're in the middle of a field.
Yeah.
There's some trees near-ish that there could be people in, but they're far enough away that if there is anyone there, Garth, you don't spot. There's no movement in the forest as you peek around. It seems quite quiet as well. And the road up ahead is very quiet. Garth, you hadn't seen anyone pass by in the last couple hours. There was only 1 or 2 passerbys in the early morning. Looked like farmers getting ready to go out to some of their fields.
Right.
Does it look like the path of the thing underground was coming from Stone Haven? Good night,
came from-
Sarah.
It came from the south up to the north. Sarah BC1, thank you. Good night. We don't know which direction it really came from, but we do know that it came from the south.
Is that the direction Stonehaven is in?
Yes, Stonehaven's a couple hours travel from the south. Yes.
Okay. We're going south anyways. What if we just walk in eyesight of this little whatever came through last night and see if maybe we can see where it came from?
It currently sits about 30-40 feet to the west of the road that's leading to the south. So
Okay.
you'd be able to keep a look over your right shoulder as you go.
Cool.
All right. Well, we're setting off, and the path is a bit rocky. This road is not very well traveled. It seems that it's got some ruts in it that the few that do travel it have worn. The path of this creature or happening underground thinks here and there where you don't notice any motion where it had been, and then a few hundred feet up you see a bit of the same rocks protruding, dirt and clods kind of sticking up. It moves almost alongside of the road. It crosses under a couple different times, and then it goes way out into a field by 100 feet. And it turns into this thing that seems to be like zigzagging and weaving. But as you approach Stonehaven, you do notice that it seems to have kind of gone out and around Stonehaven. As it sits a little bit uphill. The town seems to be a bit more safe, as it is a bit more solid rock that they're sitting on, versus a dirt base. So whatever it was, opted not to hit that.
Okay.
As you enter Stonehaven, you do notice there are a few stone statuettes of the citizens that are stuck there, frozen in time. The odd thing that does occur to you, though, is that usually the Guardian that you had met had moved them to safety. There's a few sitting in the street still this morning.
That's weird.
I mean, I think, well, we had people on the outskirts of town that had talked to as well. I think if we were passing by the inn, Garth would just peek his head in there as well.
Yeah, the innkeeper that you had met prior, you had met both of them. The first one you had met is still in his stone form. The other one doesn't seem to be anywhere in as you peek your head in and shout a friendly hello. No response. You do see a few curtains flutter open and shut as you do walk through town, but it seems that people are hiding away, scared for some reason.
Are all the statues still kind of scattered about town?
Yeah, it doesn't seem that any of them had been moved as you walk through town. From what you understood, about half of the population at any point in this town is turned to stone, the other half is not. And there's 7 or 8 figures in the streets, and you see like one as they were about to enter a building. None of them in the safe keepings of the large doorways that you'd seen them moved into prior.
We should get these guys inside, right? And maybe we can figure out what's going on.
Well, it's daytime now, so they don't need to worry, right?
Well, yes, but if no one's moving them inside, everyone's just looking at us from inside.
That's weird. That doesn't
Why
sound...
Why would they be scared of the daytime?
As you do continue your way through town, noticing these things, up ahead there's a crumble of stone in the road, and it seems that something had kind of shattered and broken there. The pile sits taking up a good portion of the road, so it sits probably about 8 feet wide and 2 or 3 foot tall.
I don't like this.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the rubble. Is there anything that looks like it was a stone statue that broke apart, or many stone statues?
It seems like a couple stone statues, but you can't find any distinctors as to who or what they were. But as you move some of the statues about, you find a flesh hand in there, and it's attached to a being, but there's a hand that you come across.
Help! Help! Come on! And I start clearing around the hand, hoping to it's you said it's attached, right? So I'm hoping to clear a body.
Yep. The fingers twitch a little bit as you continue to clear the stone, and you eventually get up to a shoulder, and then you move a piece away from the face of the Mora that you had met, the Guardian, and he's laying there all beaten up and bruised, and you can tell that he is on his way out.
Thad!
He lets out a cough. Seems that I've finished off the remaining few of these gargoyles. It was a terrible battle last night. All of them awoke.
All of the gargoyles?
Yes, normally 1 or 2 feast, but all 17 of them came alive.
Ooh.
Thadric, help!
I'll run over and I'll give him a cure wounds to kind of stabilize and make him okay.
All
As
right.
it were.
As that's happening, I'm assuming you're all still kind of
Yeah.
pulling the rubble off. You do notice that one of his wings is pretty well broken as he comes out from under the rubble. He sits up and he looks around. Did you find any of the others?
The other.
The ones that I introduced you to in the hideaway.
No, we haven't seen anyone. Just other stone statues around, and everyone's hiding inside.
As you're all speaking, a small child kind of peeks his head out of a home nearby, and he points up the road, the path that you had followed to get around to the cliff's edge before. And you do notice a couple more piles of rubble up the road in similar fashion.
Quickly, everyone, quickly! Garth just goes off running. He's gonna start clearing as much rubble as his tiny hands can.
I'm gonna, rather than chase, doing care. Whoa, wait. Rather than chase everywhere, I'm gonna set up here. I'll set up a triage here. So
Okay.
We'll bring them
bring
to
the
you.
wounded to me. And we'll
I
like
will not attempt
heal.
any medicine checks.
Don't. It's not your forte.
No.
I'll start like clearing areas to lay people, and like I'll run into the inn and or wherever and just grab like supplies that like cloths and the things.
Yeah, as you're doing that, the small boy that had pointed up the road comes hustling out with his arms full of cloth, and he throws it down. And then a couple others kind of peek out and look around very cautiously. A few people move a bed out for the Mora to lay on, and there's about 10 people that eventually come out of their homes and start setting up around Thadric. Garth, you were going to say something.
I was just gonna say, if there's a clear enough space, like before I run off, I'm gonna use create bonfire.
Okay.
And just create a fire that they can be using to warm people or to like heat up instruments to sanitize, boil water, things like that near the camp.
Make s'mores. The important
It's not
stuff.
the time!
They are healing wonderful.
That's true. They're delicious.
Nourishment.
Look, if anyone needs to make a s'more, that's fine!
You know what? I want to yell out to them as they're going away. What about Linus?
What about him?
What about him?
Boar, did you run off or did you stay with Thadric?
No, I guess. So I'm aware that Garth is maybe biting off more than he can chew. So as he uncovers people, I guess I'll carry him down.
All right.
Because I don't see him carrying them down in any way.
So Thadric yelled out, "What about Linus?"
I have it, so I would stop and be like, huh? You want a nap?
I'm like motioning to the lying guy on the ground, and
I'll run back, toss him Linus, and then run back to go to the pile past where Garth is.
plus I think Pillow Goblin hands could help nurse.
Sure.
Yeah, Thadric, as you throw Linus down quickly, this is your first time setting up the tent. It pops into shape of a nice little pup tent very quickly in front of you, and so precisely it lands. And as you open the doors, you see a bunch of the Pillow Goblins all ready to assist. There's little red crosses painted on a bunch of their little uniforms. While they don't need it, they have masks and gloves on, and they're all standing there, and there's a bunch of little pillow cots set up, and an elderly Pillow Goblin kind of hobbles over with his with his staff made of pillow as well, twisted and gnarled. He looks up at you and goes,
New one. Well, just as I told the others, we're peaceful here. My goblins will be of assistance. We felt your urgency. Please bring in the wounded.
and he walks off. And this is the first you've heard a pillow goblin speak. And the rest of the pillow goblins are just waiting for the injured. Now, those of you who had run up the road, you uncover the first pile, and it was a young man who seems to have perished many hours ago, and is unsavable at this point, unless you do want Thadric to reanimate. But you do clear him away a bit. A middle-aged man comes rushing over, and he's cradling his arm as if he had suffered wounds, and you see blood kind of running down it. And he starts peeling it back, and he goes, "Oh, I know the family. I'll let them know about their son. Let me at least clean him away first. See if there's others." And he begins taking care of this young man. You uncover a couple more piles. The woman that you had met, who did the nice flare kick jump off of the edge of the cliff, you find her next, and she is badly beaten but alive. She's got a nice big cut across her face, and as she sits up, she lets out a gasp.
They never come alive at once, and they seemed to want to murder us all.
We're
Is
here.
anyone else safe?
Yes, we've set up a place. We'll get you some help. Come.
Few people do make their way. The townsfolk all look fairly well beaten, as if they joined in the fight the night before. The children are coming out scared, but they're untouched, as if they were hiding away. A few of the children start bandaging up wounds and bring water as you uncover more people. You end up recovering about 6 of the group that you had met. 2 had perished, the young man that you had found earlier, and another young man who seemed to have the largest pile on him. He was a very brawny man, so it looked like he took the fight as best as he could. But all of the stones that you pull apart, you do find a few faces that are almost a terrible snarl of a gargoyle as they were going their full force to finish off the protectors. It takes about an hour or so before you clear all this up, and you're able to get back to the Pillow Goblin Fort. And as you do, you see the cots within, and really take in that the Linus had started taking care of those in need. The Mora sits up and looks at you.
I believe they're after something powerful. Nothing wakes them as they had woken before. Does that mean you've got the stone for the cure?
Yep. But you're the first person we told that we actually had it.
You best be careful, because I heard some scouts report that there was a giant worm that was roaming.
Yeah, it might have passed us last night.
It's heading
This
north,
morning.
though, so that's got to be good.
It was heading north when you saw it.
Yeah, good
Well,
for us.
I heard reports that it was heading east, and then it was heading west. It seems to be searching. It's only a matter of time.
Okay, what do we do though? Because we got this.
Bunker. The bunker, you must go. There is a small chest in the back of the bunker, near the door of fate. Behind the door is where I keep the remains of the first of these foul beasts that had spread the pain on this city. You must destroy it, and it can only be destroyed with the
power you have. He coughs up a bit of blood. I must rest now, but you will find the chest. You can. He continues to cough and coughs so violently that he can't continue speaking to you. And he waves you on and then just lays down and takes a big huff and puff.
All right, so go find the chest, open it up, kill the beastie in front of the door of fate.
Sounds easy.
Yes, what could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Shall we?
Shall you?
Yeah, we shall.
Who is all there?
Everybody, right?
Everybody.
I mean,
Perfect.
unless I'm dealing with.
No, Thadric, you have
People.
you have gotten to a point where it seems that some of the townsfolk are sitting within Linus and helping with the wounded, as are the pillow goblins. You've got a full team taking care of those injured. One of the young men who had entered seems to be trying to cast some spells that you recognize as something you learned early on as a cleric, some light healing power, and he is doing well to heal some of the small wounds. So, to the best of your knowledge, you've got a crack team keeping these people in recovery.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I guess Linus and is okay. I don't know the etiquette with the fort thing, so
I mean, that's up to you to discuss with your party. I'm just here to help facilitate the story.
Look, if they need the triage and they need the space, I trust the people. But look, we got dibs on it, y'all.
The
dibs on it, y'all.
the one town guard that is set up out front nods at you as you're saying this and making your way out to the street.
Okay, I'll make sure everything's in order and then head up to meet with those guys, and we'll make things awesome.
All right.
No Hydra!
Hydra!
You begin your trek up through the town. The townsfolk who are less injured have been clearing more of the rubble off of the road and cleaning up some of the battle scars that had been left behind. And as you make your way to the top, where you are able to go down the cliff face into the hideaway below, you do get to see the river out ahead, and you catch a glimpse just down off of the edge of this cliff. There's a small set of docks that has 8 or 10 small boats tied up. So something that only carries about 5 or 6 people is the largest that you see down there. And you can't quite pick out which one is yours, but you do know that it should be down there somewhere. The river leads to the east, and you can see that hit the ocean, and the sun kind of like reflects off the ocean at you right now as you make your way down the stairs into the dusty cavern that is their hideaway. Again, as you'd been in here before, it seems like an old part of town that is no longer used. Some of the buildings all boarded up, almost like a bit of a mining town. Everything's quite dusty, and you make your way to the back where you see a few doors, and I believe it was the bank is where this guy had set up shop. And as you open the door into the bank, you notice that there's a very clean patch on the back wall that seems to be well taken care of. The floor is all swept, and next to this large wooden door with an interesting face carving on it, there's a little pedestal, and there's a small chest about the size of let's say a tinderbox. So nothing too big. It can't hold anything too large, potentially papers or whatnot. And that's where you're standing currently. A large wooden door with a face in it and a small chest next to it.
Get the stone and smash it.
It looks like. Is there anything out of place down here than the last time we were down here?
No,
Like-
it seems lived in. It doesn't seem to be like ransacked or anything. You hadn't made it all the way to the back of the bank area, but you had seen some of the other little pieces that were converted into kind of bunkers or homes for the guards. The tables were in a little bit of disarray, as if it seemed like at dinner or at a break time, the call had happened to alert the rest of the guards. A few plates were tipped over, a few drinks had been spilled, as if the group had hustled out.
Okay.
I mean, is the small chest locked?
It doesn't appear to be. It seems to just be sitting there with whatever it may have inside.
I think Garth would just trust this guy and say, "All right, I start with the chest." Yes.
Should we have the stone ready?
Oh, already
Wait.
opened it.
I said,
I mean, but
I'm like
you
reaching
say-
behind to pull
Alright.
out
Ari
thieves'
said.
tools.
I already said, should we get the stone and then smash the box?
Well,
You would have heard the suggestion
Okay,
to
that-
get the stone.
okay, that's
I mean, I
fine.
could open the box.
Thinking it through, and that doesn't. I mean, look, I'll hold out the stone, but look, I think that what we need is beyond the door. He said the. Maybe we could. I don't think. I like tap the stone against the box. I don't see this.
The box seems quite ordinary. The lid could be lifted open, much like a small replica of a large chest. As you tap the stone against the box, it doesn't grow any teeth or a tongue doesn't come out to try and grab you. So it's not a mimic that you're encountering here. It's just a ordinary box.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I'll open the box.
As you open the box, you notice that there's a fine lining of white cloth. And as you look in the couple inches deep, at the bottom of the box, there's some iridescent colored hair twirled, a small lock of it that's like twirled and twisted and laid precisely within the box.
Is this unicorn hair? Can I do a history check?
Sure.
Grab some mane, yo.
Would it be nature?
Doesn't matter. Cause that's a 4 on the die with a -1.
Well,
With a 3, I
well.
am so convinced that this
Would
must
I?
be.
you are so convinced that it's something. You're not
It may
sure
be a
what the
mermaid.
something is. Yeah, it could be a mermaid scale. It
Would
could be
I
anything.
recognize it having summoned unicorns in the past?
Valari, as you peek in, it does kind of remind you of your favorite unicorn that had the most shiny coat and mane.
Mhm.
Dash.
And it seems to be of the same luster as those unicorns you've summoned in the past.
Can I want to pick it up. I mean, I'll put it back, but
As you reach inside the box and you pick up the few strands that are tied together, they uncoil very nicely. You do count that there are 6 exactly, and they're about 1.5 feet long.
Okay, so what now?
See, we didn't even need to go after that unicorn.
But is
Or-
it butt hair?
or we need more.
Look, I don't think the butt had anything.
No, it was like 3 hairs, right?
They wanted 3, so I think how many you got?
You got like extra hairs.
Yeah, I think we're good.
We can do this twice then.
Ooh.
Do we need to do it? Hopefully, we don't have to do it twice. I'm just saying, look, we messed up the first time, we got extra.
I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna be honest. I've never broken a magical curse before.
I'm guessing, here's the thing, I'm guessing. We have to go through the door of fates.
That sounds intimidating.
Well, let me look at it before we just go through it, please.
The door?
I
Yeah.
put the hair back in the
Okay.
I just wanted to admire it and touch it because I never got to touch it.
Is the box still sitting on the pedestal? Did someone pick up the box? What's
I
going on?
don't think
with it?
anyone moved the box. We just opened it and took the hair out.
Perfect. And then, Patrick, you said you're going to look at the.
Yeah, I want to look at the
box or
door.
The door.
'cause
All right.
My brain is that it is a vault or a protected area of sorts.
Yeah, as you look at the door, the face is very well carven to the point where you think it might have blinked at you as you're looking past.
Nice.
And as it does, you reach for the handle just to see if it opens, and the mouth smiles a little bit and looks you and it looks you right in the eye and goes, "You wish to open the door of fate."
Yes. Well, good night. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
I am
maybe
the door of
instinctively I
fate.
slap it because I'm right there.
As you slap it, let's see here. It does reach out with a bit of wood from the paneling and a bit of metal on the bottom rung and grab your ankle and hold you there. As you grab my handle, I grab your ankle. You are now.
I pivot to Garth and I go, "It's a mimic, dude."
You are now engaged with the door of fate. Do you wish to enter or leave?
Do you have the thing we have to get rid of in there?
I do not know what is behind me. I do not wish to know. I am here only to protect what is going through me.
Now just hold on a minute. You sit here all day and night, and you're not just a little curious about what is behind you? Like, really?
That is not my job.
Your friend sent us.
Yes.
I have no friends, only meeting people throughout my travels and journeys. I once
well,
was a
you-
ship, you know,
You were a
No.
ship? Tell me your
many
life
centuries
story.
ago. But I must ask, do you wish to enter or do you wish to leave? Because I do harm those who wish to break through.
We
And
don't.
A little bit of a grimace comes across this face.
Well, I want to go through there.
All right. Well,
But not break through. Like, we were going to use the door handle. I think he was startled, if that's what you're upset about.
the slack, yes, it was not. But if you wish to go through, the key comes in some riddles.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Uh-oh.
don't worry, I've got it.
You just hear Patrick, uh-oh.
Do you wish to engage with the unlocking?
Yes.
What begins and has no end, and ends all that has a beginning.
What begins and has no end, but ends all who have a beginning?
And ends all that have a beginning, correct. You did listen.
Time
Is
I
it
was
death?
thinking time. Oh.
or death?
Time or death? Those are both good options. What begins? Does death begin? Oh, no.
Some say death begin the moment you're born.
It has no end. I would argue that Thadric himself could end death. There are spells that could do the very thing.
Whoa.
I need to see everyone's hands at this point. Please keep them in frame.
Hey Siri.
And any Hey Series will be insta-kill for that character. I also will listen for computer, Alexa, Echo, Google, any of those key phrases.
I mean,
Wow,
Thadric's basically out. He's not smart enough to think this.
Garth, your smart home reacts to baseball.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay, wow. there you go. Your baseball signs are telling you to steal third, which somehow translates into what is the recipe for beef stroganoff?
Hmm.
I've
A little bit
never
of
actually.
cream, a little bit of mushroom sauce.
I'm guessing
Fine.
some beef.
Some stroganoff?
The right kind of beef, because if you put the
If
right
you-
kind, wrong kind, then.
If you wish to answer my question, you may. If you
No.
answer correctly, there will be more locks to undo. If you do not, there will be punishment.
All right, well, can I at least ask that if I'm the one answering, that the punishment be done to me?
As you wish.
Time.
Garth, splinters shoot out from the door and jab you in the chest and thigh, and you take 14 points of piercing damage.
Ha! Good! Ha!
As you look down, you notice that in the splinters, there's a few rusty nails as well.
Garth, here.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
I like to think that that's what would have happened. That happened because you got the right answer. Like that's the reward.
Can you repeat the question?
That one does not need repeating. If you wish to continue with this, you may. I have 2 more questions. You
Oh,
have suffered the punishment for the miscorrection.
can you at
punishment
least
will
tell me
get-
the answer? Because it's going to bother me all day.
Will not give away the answers you do not know.
Fine, I'll just ask my gods later.
Your gods will save you. This next one is for you as well. I cannot be measured until I am done. Oh, but how you will miss me once I am gone.
That one's time.
Well, now hold up. Don't be so hasty. We're going with the new rule. Whoever answers it gets the punishment. All right, I took that one. That one, I wasn't expecting a door to that much to me. So, I don't remember what happened. I'm bleeding. I don't get hit much.
The riddle again.
Cannot be measured until I am done, but oh, how you will miss me once I am gone.
I think the answer might be life. But if someone else wants to say it aloud, that would be awesome.
What if it's youth?
Yeah, I think it's you because you can measure life while it's happening.
Couldn't
I
you?
have a birthday every year. Garth, say
And
youth.
it's not like you can miss life once it's gone.
You miss another person's life.
Yeah. You cannot measure me until I am gone. Something, you miss me?
I'll put my face right next to the door, the face on the door, and I'll go. Youth, dude.
You feel it collapse a bit around your ankle. And you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Say owie. And
You
I
also
hop up
see
the
that
other
as a
foot.
reward.
Look, just out of curiosity, was it life? Again, it's gonna bother me all day.
I do not answer the questions you do not answer. There is one more. if
We
you
gotta
We
would
did
like.
answer it, technically. We gave you an answer. That was why you hurt him.
Correct, you are. But you don't get the answer for the actual question. Now, the final one.
You're a rude door.
I am performing my duties.
The Moira? Who it is? Mora? The Mora would be very mad at you.
Yes, all we're
I-
trying to do is help.
I once nearly murdered him for missing 3 questions in a row.
Just ask the next one, you stupid piece of oak.
Really more of mahogany?
No, it was a part of a ship. I'm pretty sure they use oak.
Oh, so you're a sailor now. All right.
I
So
read things.
this is
I'll
light
ask
as
you
a
a
feather.
riddle.
This is light as a feather, yet no one can hold it for long.
Breath, breath, breath.
That what I like.
Who wishes to take the pain?
Guard,
Who is
guard,
answering
guard.
to me?
I'll do it.
I didn't answer it. I didn't answer it.
Is it what is? Just kidding. I guess breath.
At that moment, the door releases hold of Thadric's ankle that is now quite crushed, and lightly opens with a squeak. You have answered at least one of them correctly.
Okay, the other one was death and then it was life.
I will not divulge my secrets.
Why not?
You
We can
may
just
pass.
Look, we only won. Like you're just mean. Like, come up with another riddle. You just sit here all day, not caring about what's behind you. Think of more riddles and give people the answers to the other ones. Goodness, as he walks past, I grab the box of unicorn hair. I mean, just really, the nerve of some doors.
I like its efficiency.
So Garth, you go busting in as you grab the box, correct?
Yep.
Shield.
No.
Shield. Thadric, Ari, Valari, how are things feeling as the door swings open and Garth tromps in?
I limp after him.
You limp after him, okay?
Yeah, I've got shield on and probably draw my sword because I don't know what we're going to face. But yes, I will follow.
Can
Did
I-
he grab the box off the pedestal?
He did.
We did.
Did I notice anything change? Anything?
Can I get a perception from you?
And that's wisdom, right? Ooh, go with 12.
12, because that's your
That's
passive.
my passive.
You think you see something kind of glint out of the corner of your eye, as if something changed on the pedestal after he had lifted the box.
Can I go look at it?
Sure. As you look around, you do notice a small paper folded up that's laying on the ground that you didn't
Mhm.
notice before. Might have been what you had seen. And as you open it up, there's a couple small rough instructions that say to wrap the power with the containment, and it says unicorn hair. And then there's a few other things that are like crossed out. One of them says dragon leather, and then another is very much crossed out. So it seems that you have the unicorn hair here.
Right.
And then the next couple steps go into some weird detail about wrapping it properly, that it covers as much of it as you can. And then the final steps are it's magically malleable. Only the most magical touch can change the shape. And that's what it leaves it at.
And it doesn't say how much unicorn, just that it needs to be covered.
It just says it needs to be wrapped and covered in containment. And the unicorn hair was the one that was circled and the others were crossed out.
So I read the note and I look up and I imagine they've all stormed through this door.
They've all pushed through the door. It's only a few steps down to a fairly empty room. And in that room, there's a stone pedestal. And on that stone pedestal, there is a imperceptibly shiny bowl, something that seems to reflect more than it should, almost to the point where you think you might be seeing through it, but not. And within that bowl, as you move your way down, the bowl contains a few pieces of some moss-covered gargoyle. You see a bit of a gargoyle face. It's a bit moss-covered. It seems to be a claw and a bit of a wing that lay in there. And at this point, as you're discovering this, we are going to go on a brief break. So, as we go on break, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Feel free to listen to our little promo spots on all of our sponsors, and we will play our theme song intros so you know that we're coming back. But that's going to be about 10 minutes precisely. So we'll see you soon.
Doot, 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 doot.
Doot. alive. We're alive. Barely. That door was kind of troubling.
Doors are
Welcome
shut.
back. Welcome back to Hubie Dragons. My name's Jared Sarden. I'm your dungeon master for as long as my players will allow me to be. We forgot to let everyone know who our giveaway winner was
Yeah,
earlier.
Just thinking that.
We all went on break, and I think all of us went, huh. Yeah, I rushed right into the story. I wanted to kill you guys so quickly that I just...
To be fair, I was like I said, I was gonna ask you at the very start of the show,
Yeah.
but you just
I barreled into it.
jumped in, and I was like,
But we can do that now. So thank you for everyone who liked, shared, commented, followed, all of the hoops you had to jump through on Instagram. Our winner for our wonderful Valentine's Day gift that you may be able to have some coffee and play on Encounter Plus with a loved one is for Oh My Goblins. Oh My Goblins, we'll be reaching out to you. We just posted on our social that you're our winner, so you'll see that there. You're probably tagged. If you're listening along, cool, say hi. If not, if you're listening elsewhere or later, we've probably already reached out to you. So this announcement is kind of boring now. Oh well.
wait, what? What's
What?
my name?
That's
Yeah.
exciting. Someone just won something.
Some cool stuff.
I was
Coffee.
making a joke because he said, "Then this is boring,"
What?
and I would, yeah. That's
Sorry. As long as my players will have me, or as long as I can put up with their crap.
Wow.
Rocks fall, everyone takes.
Shield.
Immune to rocks.
Immune to rocks. All right, let's get this earpiece in, and we're back. So, players had gotten through a wonderfully friendly door that offered some riddles and offered pain in return for wrong answers. And it was only a couple tickles here and there, a little blood, a little broken ankle.
a little bit of tetanus.
There's so many ankles.
Yeah,
One.
only. But they entered a room that, as they stepped down the stairs, it was a room only about 25 foot in diameter. So a fairly small room. It's a circular build, very nice stone carved. So it's very tight interlocking stones, super smooth, and some of the best craftsmanship. In the center of the room stands a stone pedestal, and on top of that stone pedestal, there's a overly shiny, reflective bowl to the point where it almost seems like you could be looking through it as it reflects some of the room back at you. As the party approached, they noticed that inside there were bits and pieces of an old gargoyle, moss grown over some of them. And this seems to be the remnants of the first that the Mora had talked about. Party, what is it that you do?
Don't touch the bowl.
Don't touch anything. We don't know how to break this curse.
I would like to kind of scour around the bowl specifically, or the thing the bowl's sitting on, looking
Yeah.
for pressure plates or traps of some sort, as if I'm some sort of rogue.
Yeah, sure. Could you roll on that, please?
Are there any markings on the walls?
What is our roll? 27? Is that what I heard? Wow. Wow. Valari, as you look across the walls, it seems that there's just ornate carvings along the top, nothing of any intrinsic value, just for beauty, but it's only along the very top. But you do notice there are a few holes in the walls that might have had like a poster, a pole stuck into them that scatter along the bottom of the room. And Patrick, you notice that the bowl seems to be on a plate that is ever so slightly offset from the pedestal, meaning you believe there's a pressure sensitivity going on here, that any change in pressure could set off a trap.
I I look to everyone else and goes, I think there's a trap here.
Me too.
and I start looking around for the disengage mechanism. See what I can find.
Yeah, please roll twice on your investigation, and we'll see what you come up with.
Good at seeing them. I'm not good at investigating them.
Garth and Ari, anything you wish to be doing?
I'm gonna try and stop the bleeding.
All right.
I'm just kind of like, ah, it's been a while. Oh man, it smarts.
I have a potion.
I have one too, but I'm trying to work on my tough man face. How's this?
Very tough.
Thank you.
Mm.
I got a 9 and a 4 on investigation. If it's
9.
perception, those are totally different.
Okay, 9 and 4 on investigation. You don't get much. I will allow you to have a perception roll to see if there's anything else you notice as you come up kind of short, trying to figure out where this thing leads.
See, that's better. That's a 23.
23.
We just get
Wow.
-1 investigation.
Wow. So you too notice the holes along the bottom of the room, and they seem to be every couple feet. And what you do notice about them is it seems to be similar to a trap that you've seen in the past that either could have a dart mechanism, a flooding mechanism, or something that is attached to potentially the center plate. You don't notice any disengage mechanisms, no switches or buttons of your understanding. And you do know that it ties into the central piece.
I want to dive onto the ground to the closest one and start like clearing the dirt out and like making the hole extra visible.
Yeah, as you dive down to one of them, it's cut into the stone. You're only able to like stick a couple fingers in and wipe out some dust that had accumulated. As you wipe the dust free, you do notice that it doesn't seem to have been a liquid that had flowed through here, as the carving still shows very much the craftsmanship. So there's no like wear of motion. So you believe it isn't going to flood the room per se, but that's all you can understand. It sinks into the stone and it's pretty dark.
Okay. I'm like, I'll move to the next hole and kind of clear, just trying to make them more visible to everyone.
Yeah, you're able to clear all of them. They surround the room, like I said, every couple feet, only a couple inches off of the ground. So they're noticeable at this point, and they see you kind of clanging about and diving down and looking in each of them and clearing them.
And it's going to be like, it's like either something comes up or something goes down, but it's tied to that bowl.
Would have been real helpful. I understand the man was dying. Maybe we should have just given him another potion so he could like tell us about the trap, the answer to the door riddles. I just feel like
He almost died trying to get in, so maybe he never got in.
I mean, he said he put it here, though, that he put the first gargoyle here, so he had to.
Yes, he would know.
He didn't know
He just
the
forgot.
answer to his own riddles?
I think that door was just still being a jerk.
That's
Patrick, as you're clearing the very last of the holes, the one that's closest to the stairs, you notice that there's a bit of like a plate on the side of the stair that seems to have been pried off a few times. It's got a little bit of wear on one of the corners. A stone plate.
Yeah. I'll start kind of tracing the outside of that, see if I can find where to get a purchase to lift it up while they do their thing in here.
Anyone
Yeah.
have any ideas on where to start?
Well, he's making sure it's not trapped, so.
That is a
But
really
like with
good
the
place to start.
stone, like I don't wouldn't do it just.
Yes, he didn't tell us how to use the stone. Perhaps I just chuck it at it? Nah,
Don't
that's
do that.
probably not a good thing to do.
Did Dadrick figure anything out yet?
Patrick, you are able to find a spot you're able to stick a knife in, barely, where there's like a little chink in the stone, that you're able to lightly pry, and you're able to find another spot as you slowly lift the pressure off, and the plate falls forward into your hand. It's only about 6 inches square, and as you look at it, there's some engraving on the back side of this plate that says a few words: seal the gargoyle. And as you clear it off a bit more, and you get to a few letters, and you see HOLD. You keep clearing it, and then it says breath. So it says seal the gargoyle, hold breath.
Oh,
Uh,
so Seal the gargoyle is holding his breath.
The gargoyle's name is Seal?
Gargoyles, man.
And at that moment, you look behind this plate that you pulled, and you notice that there's some strange crack that it seems to be covering up, and a little bit of a green gas starts seeping out through that crack, and then just a couple moments later, it starts flowing in through all of the holes.
turn and shout, drop the thing on the ground. It's just like, hold your breath. I don't know what accent that was.
Hold your breath.
What about the... I point to the box with the unicorn hair.
The gas begins to rise up, and it kind of bubbles and flows around your ankles and quickly gets up towards the knees.
I
hurting
want
my ankle.
to message Thadric.
At this point, you haven't smelled the gas up against you, so I would say you only have a few moments of talking before it gets to breathable space. You're messaging? Okay.
Yeah. Because he said don't breathe in. So,
Yep.
And I'm gonna message him. You said the trap was tied to the bowl. Could that fix whatever you just saw? What? Because I don't know what he saw, so I can't.
Yeah, my investigation was super low. So maybe
Did you respond or?
I'll shrug. I'm not talking. Not
Okay,
talking.
so since he only shrugs, I'm just gonna go over there and I'm gonna try it. I moved the bowl. I don't know, because would I notice that it's off to the side when I get up to it?
That the bowl is off to the side?
Yeah, you said it was like.
Oh no, there's a plate underneath it that was ever so slightly offset from the pedestal.
Mhm.
So it's not like the bowl is in the wrong spot. But as you put your hand on the bowl, you hear a click as you lift just a little bit and change the pressure, and then the plate kind of slides up a tiny bit.
Okay.
So you notice that it is sitting on something that moved, and as you do that, the gas starts flowing a bit faster. It comes up to your waist fairly quickly. Astro scurries up the stairs and slams into the back side of this wooden door that is now closed, and he's pawing and scratching at it as he's a bit nervous of the gas.
So I'm gonna.
He stands about head height for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna be like, Garth, give me the unicorn hair and the stone.
Okay, I do those things, and as I do that, I cast prestidigitation to create a small wind, trying to push the gas back down and keep it as much as possible. I'm just going to continue doing that. I know it's going to probably...
Yeah. So as you do that, you push it down around you. You see it kind of almost slosh up the sides of the wall. It's a very thick and heavy gas that kind of slips and slides up the wall a bit. But you're able to give your group a little bit of breathing space.
So I'm sorry, were you done?
No, go for it.
Okay, so I'm wrapping the stone. Is there enough unicorn to cover the stone? The unicorn. hair?
Yeah, so you're tying unicorn hair around it. You don't fully cover the stone, but methodically you're able to cover a bunch of it. And as you do, and you get the final tie of this this hair, it kind of floats up out of your hand and turns into this blob that is hovering. It glows a faint pinkish purple, and as it does, it doesn't seem to have dimension, or it doesn't seem to have like a a solid space, almost like a bubble of water floating in zero gravity. And it sits right in front of you in the air.
I feel like I should try and put it in the bowl. I probably said that out loud.
We have no idea. So just so you know, Lindsay, the other players are operating because we didn't hear that you found...
No, I know.
Okay.
I was waiting. I was gonna but when the gas started, I was like, well, I just gotta try this now.
Okay.
I didn't
I
have
just
time
wanted
to
to-
explain it. No, I know.
Sure, because we went 2 episodes without realizing that not everyone had the purple gem, so I wanted to make sure we were all on the same page.
No, I know.
Okay.
No, I knew that you guys didn't know about the paper.
Okay, then Garth would say, whatever you think is best, as he's trying to just like whip the wind in the directions.
Is it possible for me to like move this floating?
As you reach out to it, it seems to warp around your hands as if not to be touched by your hands. While you're engaging with that, Thadric and Ari, are you doing anything as the gas continues to rise and gets to about belly button height and a little bit higher?
I've heard masks can help.
Garth at this point is got it up to his eyebrows, but he's batting it away with his shenanigans.
If I see him starting to go under, I would like quickly like hold my breath, squat down, and be like, like get on my back.
Fine.
All right, I have an idea. Sarton, I don't know if it's gonna work.
All right, let's try it.
Thadric upends his water skin, pouring water onto the ground, and begins to cast control water.
All right.
With the intent to make orbs of water the exact size of those holes and put them over the holes to at least maybe buy time.
Yeah, your water skin allows you to pour out what, like 2-3 liters, something along those lines.
Something like that, yeah.
You believe that you have just enough to cover those holes. By the time you're able to cover the holes, the gas has risen up to mid chest, and it seems to stop, but it doesn't go anywhere. It like settles to a light ripple, like a weird eerie green water. Astro is standing there, and it's up to his toes as he's on the top step a little bit, and he's looking around and just trying to make sure that things are safe. And he lets out a little huff, and it sends a ripple across the top of this eerie green fog.
Did you just control that water?
It's magic.
We knew a guy who could do that once.
No, this is different than that guy. I heard stories of him.
Tales, epic tales.
He could only do it with beer.
I don't think anyone can truly control their beer.
I'm just curious. I'm gonna reach up and just try to like see what happens if I get close to the pink stuff.
The pink purple stuff, it evades your hand as well. It seems to not want to be grabbed by any one of you who reaches towards it.
Well, at least Valaria and I.
My next idea is to hold the bowl with the gargoyle stuff up there to it. But I don't know. All I know is that apparently the purest magic was the unicorn hair.
What's this about the purest magic?
Huh.
You mentioned something about the purest magic, huh?
Yeah.
Where did you read that?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well,
Lindsay.
No, I know. They're not asking, so that's
We don't have a note.
we don't know you have a note.
We know nothing.
Yeah,
You just know I'm saying weird things. You can ask about those
Oh,
weird
you
things.
said okay. You said
I don't.
Oh, that's what I said. That's what I told them.
didn't
I said
know
my
that
next
was-
idea.
I didn't know that was you saying it as Valari.
It sounded like you
It
was.
sounded like Lindsay. So
Alright. So
I
Valari
knew
says
it.
my next idea is to lift.
Mhm.
And you hear that, and then she mutters something about the purest magic.
what do you mean the purest magic? Unicorn hair is the purest magic? Is that a thing? I've never heard that thing before.
I never heard it before, but I guess it makes sense because the unicorn hair was the magic that allowed it to.
Yeah, how did you know to
Change
do that?
Because there was a paper. You
There
picked-
was
That's a paper! Why would you not immediately alert the group?
You found a paper and knew.
You
Oh,
picked
we're
up
gonna
the
have-
box and it was right there. I thought you just left it.
No, I just
Have we ever left
I was
an important piece of
bleeding.
information?
Did
I
you
mean, he picked up the box and ran down the stairs. So I was like, I want to see the. So
Well,
I
what
picked up
does
the
this
paper
paper say?
to tie the unicorn hair around the stone, and that the purest magic allows it to transform. So apparently, the unicorn hair was the magic.
Can I
Does it
see this note?
It says, yeah, Valari, you do recall seeing the last line is it's magically malleable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And well. Yeah. It's okay. It's magically malleable, basically, is what it said. It said to tie the hair around it, and it's magically malleable.
Also, this is Nathan. Just like, wasn't there something about a magical touch?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
That's what he
Yep.
he explained it to me, that it's magically malleable, is what I understood.
Magically malleable with a magical touch, essentially, is what it says. Or malleable with a magical touch.
Is it magically delicious?
Wait, if it's magic,
I don't know. Lick it.
That was
malleable.
Lauren, not Ari.
Okay, a
And
magical
that's how
touch.
Ari died for the 7th time.
Mage hand. I try and use the mage hand to move the thing. Is that
Yeah.
is that the magical touch that is needed?
Yeah, as you reach out with Mage Hand, it doesn't evade, and you're able to grasp it, and you almost like are able to pull it around like putty.
Interesting.
Maybe it's because it's not unicorn butt hair.
I
Now
don't know, Dadrick. We don't know where they got the unicorn hair from.
From a unicorn.
I know, but we don't know what part of the unicorn they got.
His
Guys, gaseous room, magic stuff. I can't hit anything. I don't know how to help, but we gotta just like, I don't know.
Just put it in the bowl.
I put it in the bowl.
As you move it down into the bowl, it just kind of sinks in around the parts, and then comes back up and floats just a little bit above in its bulbous, misshapen form.
Does the stuff in the bowl look different?
Stuff in the bowl is just there.
What if? Okay, it's malleable. What if I use it? I want to put it. I want to like expand it around the rim of the bowl, almost like saran wrap.
Yeah. So as you grab at it with your mage hand, it kind of stretches out, and then the rest of it forms up against it a couple seconds later. It doesn't seem that you can single-handedly do this.
Valari, you know this one. Come on, stretch it out over the bowl itself. Perhaps the magic from this malleable stone will trap the magic within.
Okay, so I raise my hand and do the.
Cast mage
Mage
hand with
hand,
it.
yeah.
All right. Let's see here. It takes you about 2 minutes to work together as you need to stretch this across the top of the bowl.
Sometimes it
and
folds in on itself.
It folds in on itself. Sometimes you bump mage hands and they like dissipate briefly. And as you finally get the last little bit of the this formed over the bowl, you hear a little kind of like a click in, almost like a Tupperware would. And as it clicks in,
Is there like a
the-
burp?
no,
That's when
just
you
a
open
little click. That's
Yeah,
when
the
you-
burps in you.
But as you seal it out, the bowl starts like folding up in on itself as if this goo is pulling it in tight, and then the top pops off and floats there, a little less like flubbery all over, but in a more solid shape, kind of circular. But the bowl itself is a perfect sphere of incredible shininess. You don't even see a seal anywhere, as whatever this magic had done completely sealed. It's much smaller. It's only about the size of a fist, when the bowl was something you'd have to put your arms around to carry. And it clinks very heavily down onto the pad, as if it weighs far more than a ball that size should. And as it does, it cracks the top of the pad, the pressure plate, and the room begins to have a weird gurgly, suctiony sound at all of the spots where the gas had been
My
coming
water.
out previously. Yeah, in a couple spots, the water gets sucked in and gas starts flowing back out of the room. And on other spots, it just gurgles for a few moments. And the room slowly dissipates the gas.
I would use my mage hand to grab the orb that was the gem now.
Yeah, as you grab it to like contain it and hold it, the mage hand clasps and then it turns into a more perfect sphere, but it is imbued with the same vibrancy that you saw the unicorn hair to have. And it becomes inert at this point. So you're able to grab it with your physical hand, and it's more physical and solid. It weighs almost nothing, and it's again about the same size as the metal ball, but just looks very shiny and iridescent.
Did we do it?
Only one way to find out.
Go back to town.
Yes.
Is
That
the
means that
door
door-
still closed though?
The door is closed at the moment, but it doesn't seem to have been locked for any reason. To the best of your knowledge, it just closed behind you.
We're taking this metal ball thing, right? Someone picked that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
We probably should. Nobody picked it up yet, but
Yeah, I've got the
Yeah,
power.
I'll pick it up if only to see what kind of metal it is.
Dadrick, this is the heaviest metal you've felt in your life. It feels like, basically, it feels like something, like a piece of steel that should weigh 10 to 12 times its size. So it's super dense.
Nice. I'm gonna carry it.
There you go.
So we're gonna add it to the Hydra outfit. It's gonna be good.
All right.
we'll be super encumbered.
Yeah.
Isn't the bolt safer down here though? Because they have to go through the mimic door to get it. But if we have the bowl and somebody has unicorn hair, then they have 2 or 3 parts, and
You hear a muffled yell, "I'm not a mimic."
the not mimic door.
Shut up, not mimic door.
We don't know that it's a bowl in the. It seems like it's become something else, though, right? I don't know.
Well, they said that. The Eladrin said the stone always changes shape, and they clearly knew what they were talking about.
Not our stone. The bowl changed.
The bowl.
It's not the bowl in the gargoyle anymore. It's this that has changed.
It's still the same shininess as the bowl, but it's no longer that.
I hear what you're saying. I just if what we didn't fix the curse, I don't want to waste all that time having to come back here if we're needed out there.
Is there anything else about this room before we leave it that stands out?
No, just a stairway down of about 6 or 7 steps. And it's fairly circular. Like I said, very well maintained, almost as if it is a room that is for safekeeping dangerous or highly valuable objects.
If we want to leave it, we can. But my vote would be to bring it.
Sorry, which one are we talking about? The one that I'm
Metal.
holding or the older one?
Metal.
Okay, the metal one.
Listen, kunk.
I mean, it is a heavy thing to move. Ooh. I'm fine leaving it and checking on the town, but that is me.
I don't have a strong opinion.
All right, then we leave it behind.
Okay.
All right?
Not opening that door again.
I got it. I'll go up and gently push the door open.
The door swings open for you.
Just kidding, it's a pull.
No, it actually doesn't even seem to have a handle on this side. It's a push, but the mechanism lets you through.
Wait a second. We could have just removed the hinges from the other side.
There were none. It's a magical door.
Okay, good. I'm
I kick
glad-
it extra hard when we go through, so that it like, slams against the back wall.
You hear a crack and a thud and an oof. And as the door swings back, and closes, it brightly smiles at all of you. Do you wish to leave me any key words?
Hail
Or
Hydra.
shall I? Hail and Hydra. Do you wish to add a third? It's a safer lock if you have 3.
Can it be a physical movement? Can it be Hail Hydra?
Have.
I will consider ways to riddle that. Your 3 words and motions now are the lock and key combination for this door. You will be asked the riddles, and you must solve them, but only you know the combination.
Lock the door.
As you dab, you hear a clunk, and the door locks, and he wishes you well, and sinks back as more of just a carved face in the door, not a 3D piece. You have locked an empty room with Hail, Hydra, and Dab.
The movement, not the word.
Not the word.
Well, it's got the heavy metal sphere in there.
Oh, it's got the heavy metal
Yeah,
sphere. Okay,
yeah,
no one's
it's
taking it. Cool. Cool. As you do that and you walk out of the bank, you get to the main area, and standing at the far end of the area is a non-moving gargoyle. Seems to be in place, as if it had either never been alive or had recently stopped moving. But it blocks your path to get all the way out. It's one of the biggest gargoyles you've seen in town.
It wasn't there when we got in.
It was not.
Something there that wasn't there before.
Well, shall we
Smash it.
don't hate the idea. I mean, really, it's just going to be in people's way here.
True.
All right.
I don't smash things. So I
Don't.
and I got a lot of fire spells prepared today. So magic
Yo.
missile.
You just fire magic missile at it?
Yeah, why not?
Whoa.
Well, as you fire magic missile, the first 2 hit, and the third one, as it goes at its chest, the gargoyle cracks and moves and catches it in the shoulder and stands up tall, towers above everyone at about 9 feet tall. The tips of its wings are scraping into the ceiling, and it lets out an inhuman roar.
Is it dark or dim?
It is dim in here, yes.
Great.
Should I roll damage, or you got that on your end, buddy?
I got that to start on this end, yep.
Okay.
You get full damage on it because it was non-moving at that point, but you're now fighting a gargoyle.
Uh-oh.
Thanks.
Why
Garth.
do I feel like it shouldn't be alive?
Now, I need everyone's initiative, please, as we roll for initiative.
I am the worst initiative roller in the history of this game.
Alphabetical, Ari.
25.
25, Garth.
16.
All right, same as last battle. Badrick.
3.
I'm sorry. Valari.
20?
20. And you have Astro's roll.
5.
That's just his roll, or that's his total?
No, that's his total.
All right.
Because it's 3, right?
Okay, the room is not too large. You only have about 25 to 30 feet as far as the width goes, and only about 40 feet deep. The gargoyle stands in your path. The group of you are a few feet into the room from the bank. At the top of the turn order, we have Ari.
Fantastic. I am going to take the charger dash action.
Mhm.
Thought this thing was going to be dead. Came out, is for sure not. So I Ari, having also seen all those people that are injured, is extra furious. So just going to give like the biggest battle cry, shield out, sword drawn, and is going to dash and swing.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a nat 20.
Wow. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
nat 20. Here we go.
so that is gonna be 19 points of. Oh no! Yes, 19 points of damage.
19 total?
No, because I get 8 and then I rolled a 5, so there's that, and then plus my 6. But because I took my charge, I get another 5, so 24.
There we go. I was like, that's a little light. That's more like it. Valaria, it is your turn.
Cool. So I am casting Shadow Blade, but what you see is like shadows from across the room just like come together at my hand, and they like form this small short sword.
Yeah, and as that's forming, you do see the dust kind of go up as Ari had smashed into this gargoyle. So now you have this wonderful short sword. What do you do with it?
So I'm gonna attack at this gargoyle.
All right.
And
Running up to it, throwing it. What is your preference here?
how far away am I?
You're only about 15 feet from it.
Okay. So I guess I'll rush in.
All right. So you'll be right up next to Ari. As she rushes forward, you are only a moment behind her. And this thing stands wide enough that two people can stand at its front. So you're both in the front of it.
Sorry, my rolls aren't showing. Okay. So that's a 17 to hit.
17 to hit. That does hit.
And it does 9 damage.
All right. 9 damage. It is the gargoyle's turn here as the two women rush up and kind of smash in its face a bit. It's going to claw out at each of you. And with that, the first swing is at Ari, and it swings for a 9. The second swing is at Valari, and it swings for a 18. So Valari, it does hit you,
Yeah, it
but
does
Ari, it
hit.
doesn't hit you. We have some damage to be rolled.
Yeah.
And that is 6 points of slashing damage. So 6 points of slashing damage as it connects with your upper chest there, Valari, and scratches you like right under your neck as it was going for a kill. Garth, your turn. You see it lash out at the two that had gone up.
Yes. You said it's like 15 feet away from me, right?
Yeah, it was sitting almost dead central of the room in your path to exit.
Okay. And would I be able to get around it or no?
You'd be able to get to a side of it, yes. You'd have a little bit of space on either side, only about 10 feet.
So if I got behind, to either side of it, not behind it though?
You can get around all the way behind it, yes. But you have about 10-ish feet on either side to go past, so you don't have to like squish up against it and slide past for any opportunities or anything.
Gotcha. From his height and the spread wings and everything like that,
Mhm.
Garth is wanting to get to that other side anyway to establish kind of like you're surrounded.
Yep.
As he's running, he's going to analyze. He's choosing between two spells, Ice Knife or Firebolt.
Okay.
If he uses Ice Knife, he knows that it will explode into shards that could hurt his friends. But if he's on the other side, is there a way that would be lessened because of the size of the creature itself?
Ice Knife is only about a 5-foot radius, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you get around the backside, and you think if I can get like square between like the wings, you should be fine.
Great. Then I'm going to get to the backside and shoot Ice Knife square between its wings with a natural 20.
Whoa! Did not see that coming either.
Another one
Right.
of those?
How is this happening?
Where did that come?
Oh, I was just waiting. I'm like,
Thanks, Penguin.
it's gone. It's gone. This guy's. It's. All right. How much damage does that critical do?
So it does a D10 of base damage.
All right.
So there's 10. I'm gonna roll another 10 and get a 9. So there's 19 plus on a dexterity save or on a fail, it's going to take 2d6 more from the explosion. I don't know how. Are we saying that? Would that 2d6 also be doubled then?
It would be if I didn't get a nat 20.
Well, now hold up. We were determining what it would be, and some of us have divination powers.
All right. Fine. You can get
So-
the double.
You might still get it, because my lowest portent for the day, and I'm hoping that Stone Boys isn't dexterous. My lowest portent of the day is a 12.
There's 0 dexterity on this.
Yeah, baby!
They're stone boys. They're not quick. They're big
Even-
hulking monsters.
Even when they're not stone.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big boy.
it's a big honking dude.
So
He's got a lot of strength though. If you want to go toe to toe there.
no, I'm gonna stay away from him.
Hard pass.
So
Hard
you
pass.
take, you got the 2d6 base, so that's 12. Let me add 3 more for 15 plus that 19 rocks me a 34 total.
34. Nice. So you see this ice knife shatter, and you blink as you believe you saw it shatter twice, and just so many pieces of ice lodge into the wings of this thing and start causing a slight cracks and fractures that weren't there. We go to Astro, who barks and barks and barks at this thing, but knows that being stone, he doesn't want to latch into it and break a few teeth. So he rushes up and he does a teleport and he kicks it in its face and tries to launch off of it, but slips and drops to the floor right between the two ladies up front as he was trying to do a knockover. Poor little pup. Thadric, it is down to you.
How's this gargoyle looking?
Pretty
Hulky,
sound.
bulky.
Like, I'm asking, should I go for my absolute world record setting damage potential right now? I feel like
I mean,
I'm gonna, because
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
else
I
is
could have cast
I
Ice
mean,
Knife
I
even higher.
use it.
I think if you look at this, Thadric, you've been around crafting quite a bit of your life. This seems to be a pretty sturdy block of stone that it's made out of. So you'd think, oh, if it's alive, it probably can take a beating. So do as you wish with that.
All right. You see the familiar hand start to glow, and the molten iron beam shoot forth as I cast where is it? This guiding bolt, and surprise! It's a nat 20, my friend. Surprise. So I'm base 42
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
plus, that's a lot of fives, plus 29.
42 plus 29.
70,
71?
70, I don't know.
71.
Went to film school.
I went to film school. Yes, 71 points
71.
of damage here. As you blast that up and over the shoulders of these ladies, how does that look? I know it comes out as a molten beam, but you do significant damage to this thing.
Yeah. I feel it starts to like solidify, and you start to see the stone heat up as if it's been in a forge itself, and then the cracks start to happen, and stemming right from like the chestal area of this, the veins of split rock shoot out, and then hot molten rock flies against the walls.
Yeah, and as you do that, what remains seems to be a wingedless gargoyle with like one arm kind of clawing out. It's still standing, but only barely. Its molten rock form is just kind of waiting to take its next strike, and it goes up to Ari.
Okay, so I don't think my first one's gonna hit. First one is a 14.
That hits.
Oh, great. Okay, so seeing all of this, it's just sword coming down, straight through, well, attempting straight through, and that's going to be 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. You see this thing is barely standing there and lost all of its armor. So as you come down through this molten rock, you get about 2/3 of the way down as your sword heats up a bit and gets stuck within the rock, but it crumbles around. So you lift your sword up, and your sword is now stuck in a chunk of stone that's about the size of a cantaloupe.
Is it dead?
Yes, this thing is dead. You finished it off. Thadric basically teed that one up for you.
Yeah.
Tearing apart its armor class. Even.
I'm just mad that I didn't remember I could cast spells at higher levels.
Yeah.
Like I cast that first level. If I had cast that at a higher level, that would have been even more d6s on the cold damage at the end.
Yeah. I casted it 4th level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a record set for you, I think, on Thadric here. You almost killed it. It was down to 1 HP there. And I was just like, okay, well, it'll take a beating. But it's now shattered bits of rock. And Ari, as you come down through and it starts to do its crumble, and you notice that you've got stone stuck to your sword, the floor shakes and rattles as if this thing had exploded. But all of the rock from its explosion had already settled just moments before. So this shaking and rumbling seems to be a different catastrophe.
Something's coming.
We've got to get those people in the town. Wait, like, does it feel like it's coming towards us, or just like it's just the area?
Feels like it rumbled up pretty quick, so it's the area, but you're not quite sure if it's approaching or if it's just something rattling.
How long since it was my turn?
It would have been your turn next.
But I mean, like, how much time?
Probably about 6 or 7 seconds at this point.
Okay, so the rumbling, I'm assuming I would recognize that.
Potentially as what you might have felt earlier. It's just a nasty rumble, but it's not like an earthquake. I think it might shake you enough that you would probably have to roll on your wild magic, as you were just in battle and tense, and then this rumbling comes your way.
Well, yeah, plus I'm also thinking, oh crap, did we bring all the gargoyles back, and now is the worm coming? Like, yeah.
Technically,
Valari.
I'm thinking lots of things right now.
Valari,
I have a question.
Yes, what's up?
Here you go. Okay.
Was our spell... Oh, I also have to sneeze. Nope. Okay, we're good. Was our spell we were trying to do to bring the stone people back from being stone, or did it have anything to do with the gargoyles?
I think you were trying to remove the curse of the people who were turning to stone.
That's
Well,
what
those people, those stone things
Okay,
are people.
So just because the gargoyles being here is not necessarily a sign that we did not do our task or that the magic didn't work.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, as Garth mumbles.
But
over
if we
there.
just brought back like dozens of gargoyles, that's not going to be ideal.
So as Valari's mulling over these thoughts, what is your number, Valari?
Take a look at that number right there.
Straight up 100. Valari,
Gain the level.
please roll once more
Mhm.
because you gain this effect.
What do I roll?
You roll once more on the table, but you also, in the reroll, you regain all your expended sorcery points. You feel a refresh come through. And what is your second roll? Straight up 80. Okay. And then for the follow up to that,
I felt a refresh.
you felt like refreshed that it meant that your
So I
sorcery
can
points come
heal
back.
myself.
Your sorcery points come back.
Okay, I had all of those.
For the next minute, you feel also at your fingertips, your spells are ready to go, meaning everything is lessened an action. If it costs an action, it's now a bonus action. So if it would have cost 2 actions, I mean, there's weird things in the deep nethers of this world, but you essentially lose the need for an action.
So what happens if something's a bonus action then?
You can cast it at any time and still take an action. Like if it's a bonus action and you cast Chromatic Orb, you can also swipe at something with your sword. So you would be able to essentially do an attack and a bonus action at this point.
But like, what if it's already specified as a bonus action?
It's a free action.
It's a free action, yeah. So
At
you
will.
So I have an
Yeah.
action, a bonus action, and
and a free
a
at-will
super
action of
special.
whatever you want.
Okay.
Yep.
now I'm assuming this broke my concentration and my Shadow Blade.
Yeah. You kind of felt the rumble and had this all happen to you. The Shadow Blade drops.
Well, it's made of shadows, so
Yeah. Well, it drops. It's gone. It dissipates. But the rumbling happens and it calms down. It comes back a bit. Party, what do you do at this point?
I've got an idea.
Okay.
If there's a giant purple worm coming after us,
Don't turn it into a seal.
well, that's one idea. But look, again, how would we defeat it? No, we've got a very fast boat just outside on the shore. If it's coming after this thing, then it might follow us out into the very ocean.
Could be.
So you're wanting us to lure it out into the ocean where we will die there because we don't have any solid ground to fight it on?
No, to my knowledge.
I don't think worms breathe water.
Yes, no.
Well, we don't know anything about this. We don't even know
I
for
don't need
sure
water
what
either.
it is.
Can we go back to town real fast and see if we can get there in time to see if people are okay? Also, do I have a chunk of rock on my longsword?
You do. And it doesn't seem to want to slide anywhere. It's almost fused to the blade at the moment.
Meh. It's just a sword.
It's a club now.
Dad, is this worth saving?
The sword?
Yeah.
It's not the talking sword.
Oh, if it's just a regular sword, whatever. No. I mean,
Okay. I'll drop it and grab my great axe.
All right. Anything else?
And then we run
Run.
up the treacherous staircase that runs on the outside of the
Yeah.
mountain.
I need each of you to make a dexterity save as you run up.
I'm not running. I have a
Well,
great
as you traverse the staircase, running, walking, whatever, a dexterity save would be great.
17. I rolled decent. Decente.
14.
14. Valari.
I got a 15.
All right. Garth.
Look, I'm burning a couple things, and we're gonna wind up in the end with it's a save or it's a regular.
Save.
18.
18. The floor is rumbling, and the steps that you are making it up seem like they're gonna slip out from under you as they're on this rock face. Valari, you said you had a 14?
No, that
Lauren
was
had-
Ari.
Ari had a 14. So Ari, you feel a bit of a slip of your footing, but you're able to keep yourself up just barely. The rest of you are able to kind of make it up the staircase and onto the pathway. And as you get up to the pathway and give Ari a hand up on top of the landing, you look down into the town a little bit, and you see that there's some small skirmishes going on of various forms that you're not sure were here before. You think you see a bit of metal in a fight with what seems to be a green fleshy beast, very large humanoid. You see a glowing orange character moving about with a sword swiftly and cutting down a few other beasts that are attacking. The town seems to be overrun by various creatures. And as you take this in and begin moving towards this little battle down the hill, you notice a maw comes up and sucks down a home, and it is the giant purple worm that you believe was coming after you. It seems that the evil searching out this stone, as well as the good, have met here.
Did we just initiate an apocalypse?
I run.
I've got an idea.
What?
I
Run.
could always lead them away.
We gotta go get Linus.
What?
He's thinking about Linus.
We gotta go get Linus.
It's true.
If we're gonna run, we should run in comfort.
We should run in comfort.
Let's keep the escape in the back of our minds, but we have to let them at least sense that we're here.
Think they're aware.
I mean,
But they're not fighting us. They don't know who has it. Otherwise, they would have come straight to us.
I could tell them very quickly, and then I could run pretty fast. And then, like, they'll see my fingers glowing, and, yeah, I would be trying to think. I'd probably be thinking, like, of the fastest creature that I could.
Snail.
What does the stone look like now?
I know what I would do.
The stone,
Yeah.
it was inert and turned into a small ball that had the iridescence of the unicorn hair, the mane, tail, whatever you wish it to be from. It had the same iridescence, but it is able to be held by a hand now. I believe Garth or Valari had it.
I got it.
Garth.
All right.
Garth can prestidigitate. Badrick, do you know prestidigitation or any illusions?
No. That's like learned magic stuff. Mine's just
I'm
like
just thinking
give
though,
it.
what if we each get a rock? Because I don't want someone to just go after one person with it. They don't know what it looks like. We can just make them all look different.
True. I mean,
Distraction, buy us some time.
yes. I know we must react quickly. My only thinking is I could transform into something very small and fast, and I could get away, maybe lead them on a chase, at least make it so that they won't fight each other and leave this town alone. But then I fear that they could then use you against me, and I don't want to leave you in that sort of danger.
As you're discussing this, the battle inches its way up towards you. It's only about 50 feet out from where the fighting is. The orange glowing figure comes running over to you with a small sword at his side. And he stops in front of you, huffing and puffing.
Well, surprised we haven't met very much in person. I wasn't allowed to speak with the others. But I'm all that remains of the Eladrin, and if you wish to be remaining like me, we must make safe passage from here.
To where?
We've secured a vessel. It sits at the harbor, just down the river mouth and north. A small trek. We could hustle there. Do any of you know flight or any way that we could get there quickly?
And he takes a huff and then flips back behind and knocks an arrow out of the air that was flying at you, and then drops and then comes over.
The battle's moving quickly. What can we do?
Leaving innocent people to die?
They're coming here for you, and we
Okay,
sense
well,
the
then
power.
let's go. I only know how to run.
I pivot to them, say, I'll meet you at the boat. And then I go stealth.
You would hear the typical World of Warcraft.
Shadow vanish.
Yeah, and off he goes.
He's going for Linus.
Rolled a 17 on the die plus 8.
17 on the die plus 8, 25. The rest of the group sees you just vanish. You feel a smack on your shoulder as the Eladrin taps you on the back, and you hear a, "Be careful, sir." And that's it from him. And you're able to stealth through. The battles rage on around you. You see all sorts of creatures, orcs and goblins. You even see some dark elves that have seem to come out of nowhere, and there's just so many pockets of fights, so you're not quite sure. You do recognize a few of the fights being from some of the Strand, the goblins and kobolds that protect like the outskirts of town. They're 4 and 5ing on top of an orc and like ripping him over and stabbing him, and you hear stab, 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 stab from all of them.
If I mean, you know where I'm going, right?
Yeah, you're heading down towards Linus,
Yeah,
correct?
I'm going to get our friend.
Yeah.
back.
So you're making your way down that way. If what?
If at any point like
Mhm.
there's an orc going this way, and I can just get him in the kidneys as I'm moving past, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. The rest of you, the Eladrin is huffing and puffing. It seems that he's quite safe. What are you doing?
Let's go.
We have to go.
We're with you. Let's go.
Okay.
Lead the way.
I will try to get you through the city, but be prepared. We don't know what's coming. And so he turns and starts running, but not at full speed that you wouldn't be able to keep up with. And he runs down the hillside through the town, ends up passing Thadric, and the rest of you are following. In this point, we're not actually in battle, but things are happening around you. I need each of you to roll a perception or go with your passive. Patrick, that includes you.
23.
Same. They're both the same. 17.
Ooh, yikes. 6.
You
Well,
go
my
with-
passive
go
is
with your
12.
passive.
Go
Yep,
with that.
there you go.
Yeah, the 12. No, it's 11.
11. All right. So the 11 and 12, you're able to dodge out of the way of a few small attacks that happen. The larger numbers, Ari, you see an orc kind of stumble back towards you and then turn as if he's going to attack. But you catch him by surprise. So roll damage and tell me where you would hit as you're running past as an orc coming at you with a great sword.
I have my great axe out at this point.
Yep.
Is this no?
Just roll me a 20. Just roll me a 20 right now.
Okay. I'd be going for like a gut slice.
Okay. And what is your 20?
12 plus
12?
7. So
All right, cool. So your 2 hit, you get a gut slice. We're not going to roll damage here as you're just running past and you're not engaging in battle. So your roll to hit gets through his defenses, and with your speed, you feel it kind of slice through the central part of his abdomen, and he drops to his knees, and you hear stab, 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 stab from a few small creatures that hustle in. You only assume that they're the goblins and kobolds you see fighting throughout. Thadric, you see a few creatures that you're not quite sure where they've been. You've heard of the Underdark, but they seem to be a very dark and almost pigmented lost elf. And they've got almost bright red eyes and sharp pointy teeth, and you hear them kind of roaring and hustling towards one of the town's guard who's got his back turned. Up in front, there's a few stones. There's also a pole arm on the ground. There's 2 of these creatures running towards the guard. Is there anything you'd like to do to stop them, trip them up, distract them, whatever?
I mean, I got enough daggers.
Okay. So roll the hit on each and tell me where you want to hit.
Where's my dagger? Here it is. First dagger is 18.
18. And where's that heading towards?
I just want to kind of hit him in the back of the knee, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Second dagger, not as good. 10.
10. All right. So the first one hits and stabs right in the back of the knee of one of the figures moving forward. And they had short swords out in their hands. And as he gets hit in the back of the knee, he twists and drops and ends up stabbing his companion as he twists and gets the guy right in the gut. And they trip and tumble down the the hillside.
I pause and I say, sometimes you just need a friend.
There it is. The rest of you continue forward, and there's small skirmishes that you're able to throw a stab here and there. You do make it through town, and it seems like the fight is slowly coming down behind you. But currently, you have enough friends around providing support that nothing's straight up attacking you. When you get down to the end of town, you notice that there's a sign that says the river harbor that leads you kind of alongside the cliff pass. The ground rumbles again as that giant worm is still chasing its prey. What do you do?
Is the Eladrin still running?
The Eladrin has seemed to be caught in a small skirmish at the end. He's fending off two larger creatures. One looks like a small hulking giant, but just compressed in size. Another looks like a stone creature that has come alive, and there's a caster there kind of willing it, and it's swinging and swiping, and he's just keeping them from getting past. And he yells out, "I'll meet you there! I'll meet you! Go!"
I'm gonna fire a round of magic missile at whichever baddie looks bigger. And then we'll
it's this hulking stone creature that seems to be made up of just stone pieces. You don't see any face or eyes or anything,
Okay.
but it definitely has a
But he's
humanoid
animated
figure.
by a caster?
You see someone right there, and it's got a faint glow, and he's kind of like puppeting this thing. It's back behind you. You're able to squeeze past it, and it's fighting the Eladrin now.
If I feel like the caster is the one, would I get the impression the caster is the one? Then I'm shooting.
Yeah, you see the glow like he's puppeting, and it feels like almost rock'em sock'em, like he's back behind throwing the punches with this thing.
Okay, then they're going at him.
All right. You don't need to roll any damage or anything as you're running through. As you hit, the first one kind of rocks the guy to the side, and you see the rock creature flail an arm up with the caster. The second one hits him, he flails another arm. And when the third hits, you hit him in the chest, and he kind of lets out an oof and drops to his knees, and the rocks tumble and end up falling back and like pinning one of his legs down. And he lets out a yelp, and the Eladrin throws a couple more stabs, and he keeps waving at you. Says, "I'll meet you there soon." And you've given him some help as he is no longer being teamed up on.
Cool. Then running towards the harbor.
Yeah, I'm pulling out the key to our boat because I don't know what boat he's talking about, but I'm like, we got a boat.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm waving it around. Just picture someone like lost in the parking lot. Like, which one is it?
As you're hustling towards the boats and you're looking for which lock this could be, I need each of you to make a perception as well.
I'm gonna go with my passive 14.
13.
13. Dadrick? Valari?
19.
17 passive.
All right. Valari, you notice like sitting in the water, kind of ducked along one of the docks, a small wooden head and some hands clutched there. And you recognize that to be, I believe, number 5 from the small group of Warforged that you had met. He was wooden carved and seemed to be very similar. He kind of catches eyes with you.
So I'm shouting, "There, the 5th one!" And I'm still running towards that one.
Number 5 is the designation.
Oh, well, I thought you said it was the 5th
No,
boat.
sorry.
But I know you said number 5. and
Yes.
my brain just went, there, that one.
And as you do that, he kind of waves at you and points down to the next row. You see that on the 6th dock, there's a very jagged, janky-looking boat with a metal chain on it. And that metal chain has a brightly glowing lock that glows brighter and brighter blue. The key starts humming in Garth's hand.
Pew,
as he knows that that's the one, and almost lets out a chirp as he gets close. Bloop, bloop. And then out of the water, number 5 stands up. I see that you have made it safely from everything up there. Have you seen number 2 or number 9 in your battles?
I saw one of your kind fighting. That is my only, all that I have in memory. The Eladrin hurried us this way.
At least you're here safe. We must go to the boat quickly. If they're alive, they will meet us there. We must get this power away from land.
Okay.
This worm chasing us is not going to stop. But we may be able to stave it
I
by
grab his
going
hand and
deeper.
just, like, lead him towards the boat. Like, okay,
He continues, and he's like, there's safety in the water, and you drag him onto the boat and toss him in.
Did we just grab 3PO? Is that what's happening here?
But isn't he the wood-looking one?
This is the wooden one. So yeah, you just got medieval 3PO, I guess.
Yeah.
And he sits up.
3PO.
3PO. And good night. That's our show. We landed the joke. No. So as you toss him into this janky boat and you sit down and you look around, the seats are old enough that you look like you could get a splinter if you touch them wrong. There's this small compartment in the front that the guy had told you about, and then there's a small like chest tucked under one of the benches that you sit on. There's 2 oars sitting there that you may row yourself. Otherwise, this doesn't seem like a magical boat of any sort.
At this point, I think I'm like running down the dock, holding
Yeah.
holding the tent, going, grab some main, yo!
As you're like running down to the dock, we see like this cloud of mist kind of trailing you as you come out of being invisible and stealthed, and you're just hustling it with all you can. This is the fastest I think the party has seen you run at all.
Because I'm not fast.
You about to do Frodo at the head of debris.
Yeah, and
Pendulum Bridge.
Probably more
Yeah.
of you guys trying to jump on the Huckleberry Ferry.
Yeah.
the Huckleberry Fairy. As you're doing that, like you have gotten such a stride that your armor is bouncing in sync with one another. So every step is a big clang, clang, clang. You're no longer stealthy, and you're able to jump onto the boat, and the boat just kind of sits there and floats, waiting for you to row or figure out its magic.
Can we row it like to the end of the dock? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
give the Eladrin a little bit longer. But while we maybe give him a couple minutes, I would just say, I have the ring you just gave me, Garth. We could make it go with this ring.
I mean,
I'm just trying to think of what magical item is.
oh, how about this?
The wand?
I pull out the wand.
The wand of this configuration?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
Ha
It spits it back out at you. No. As you toss that into the little compartment in the front and close the lid, a shine and luster appears across the boat. It is one of the best handcrafted boats that you've seen ever. The seats now have padding up under your butt that it's so cushy to sit on. The oars are now stuck in proper handles that you're able to pivot on properly. The front gets a dragon's head that grows up as the masthead. And as this transforms very quickly in front of you, you do all notice that as it consumed the power of the wand, your shoes switch feet as the wand gets its last laugh. So your left boot is on your right foot and your right boot's on your left foot. And the wand gets its last laugh as the boat comes to life. And as you're waiting there and slowly paddling to the end of this pier, you see a orange glow come launching up over the cliffside towards you. The orange glow then kind of puffs into a glow of smoke and turns into a bird, a sparrow that kind of hovers and floats and then flies up to the north. And as it flies, it leaves you almost this glowing orange trail to follow as it heads up to where the Eladrin said there was a ship.
Follow that bird.
Now, as you're following the bird and you pat on the boat and it doesn't seem to move for a moment, and then it just rumbles under you. It glides across the top of the water to the point where you feel it just kind of smacking the water gently, that it's almost lifted fully out. I need all of you to make a dex check to make sure you don't lose hats, swords, anything that's minorly loose.
Just a check.
Just a check.
I'm a halfling. I can't roll that.
All right.
Oh, sorry. What was the check?
Dex.
Dex.
14.
14. All right.
So just add this.
7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 13.
13. 7. Valari.
17.
17. So as you do, Thadric, you feel the cloak that you're wearing kind of like come untied a bit and loosen from your armor and catch on the back of the boat, and it's getting splashed into the water, and it continues every time it hits the water, it slides further and further off. But Valari sees that fly out, and so does Astro. And Astro grabs the hold of the cloak, and Valari, with her nice 17, scoops the hindquarters of Astro and kind of pulls him in. And Astro is just like shaking your cloak and growling and holding it as if he'd killed some sea monster. And he's back a couple seats from you. The boat continues to fly. No one lost anything of importance here. And up ahead, you see a ginormous ship. It's got like 3 or 4 layers of what seem to be inlays of cannons or areas for weaponry. On the deck, you see that it spans a couple hundred feet. It's got sails that are the largest you've seen. On the sails, there's an emblem that seems to be almost a cloud-like symbol. And as you look at this large ship, you notice that there's a lot of metal inlays in very geometric patterns going around the edges. And you get closer and closer, and as you do, a few hooks drop down into the water, gleaming bright silver, and the boat skids up to a stop as if it knows the plan, and the hooks raise up. And as you take in the edge of this boat, the geometric patterns seem to be almost a piping along the edges of this boat. And you get to the top. And at the top, you're greeted by a construct that stands there, tall and hulking. It says nothing more than exit ship, exit ship. And then he sets down a platform for you to step off of your boat onto the ship itself. The crew is hustling about. You see all sorts of races and shapes and sizes. You see even a small few winged creatures, some fae, flying up and around and carrying ropes. You hear a clink, clunk, and a whistle, and everyone stops. And across the deck, you see a warforged that is half wood and half metal, and he walks up to you all. Welcome aboard, mateys. We are setting sail. Looks around. No more in your party. Arr! And you hear him catch on these weird piratey sounds, but in such a mechanized way. We must travel very swiftly. Others will join if they wish, are. And he looks around. Still no more to appear in your party.
To where are we sailing?
Nafa, we have a city to save with the rest of the power that you bring. That was promised by number 2.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I mean, I will say, I think this is all of us.
I don't know how many others of your kind made it from the battle, but number 5 here told us that they would come if they could. This is all in our party. There was a... Did the bird, like, go off a different direction, or is he allowed
No,
to...
you think you see some orange glow off to your left amongst all of the hustle and bustle. But this is where the orange trail had led.
Cool.
He looks across the group. All right. Set sail. And he steps off, and you hear a whistle again, and you see on the back of his head, it almost like steam pipes out the back of his head, like a train whistle of sorts. And everyone starts hustling and bustling about. A small creature comes clumping up to you in a very big pile of rope, and they're just kind of carrying it across and sets it down. And there's a small kobold underneath that looks up and goes,
I can show you your quarters. They'll be just through those doors next to the captain's quarters, the finest part on the ship. If you have any needs for your furry friend, just let me know. I can get him meats of any sort. Do you need anything?
No.
But like, did we save those statues?
Let me check with the scouts.
and he hustles off, and you hear him scamper around, and you see him duck and dive between some of these others. He disappears for a moment. Valari, what were you thinking?
I was gonna let him know that Astro's favorite meat is dragon meat.
Oh, well, you can still do that. He should
Well,
come back.
he ran off, so okay.
After a moment, he comes back, huffing and puffing.
So, there's word that all of the people in the town had survived, except I think a home got eaten by whatever's chasing us. Do you know what it is? What's chasing us?
Bad news.
And as you say that, he kind of peers up and over the edge and looks into the water, and you see a couple small boats very similar to yours come scooting up, and you recognize a little bit of a glint and gleam off of one of them as number 2. And then you see what seems to be incapacitated few bodies within the back of the boats, and you hear screams and calls of getting the stretcher and whatnot as these boats come up, and they hustle some people off. And the little kobold looks up at all of you.
Okay. This is my first time sailing on a ship. Can I get you any food or anything? I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
How long have you been on the ship?
3 days?
No, How long have we been?
You've
on
been
the
here
ship?
for about 10 minutes.
And the ship's been moving the whole time?
The ship started moving just recently, moments before the other little small vessels pulled up.
Because I imagine Valari's going to get seasick and be throwing up off the edge soon, because she's never been on.
He sees that you're turning green and points you to your room.
There's some water and a bucket, and I'll get some food. I threw up the first couple days. I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine too. I will catch up with you later.
And he goes hustling off the other direction. At this point, the ship has calmed down into a bit of a standard fare. They've got the boat moving. They've pulled people on. There's a few people on deck still performing tasks. But you do have a room up at the top of the cabin.
I'm gonna just look to a random passerby, like a crewman or whatever.
Yeah, an older man with a few scars and missing his right hand turns. Yeah, what can I do for you?
How long until we get there, my good man?
This could be a quick voyage. But I think we're gonna go to deeper water, so it could be a day or so, maybe 2. Oh, it's not that far, but if we want to tussle with that beastie, we'll stay in the shallows and we'll be there quick. If we don't get sunk, well, if we want to stay alive, we can go to the deeper waters. But that's where I lost this. And he holds up his stump.
Is there a forge on board?
Well, we do have some workspaces that we could get some heat for you.
I look at like Garth and Valari and Ari, and I just
I did lose a longsword.
I do have necklaces to make.
Polari runs to the edge and throws up.
Blarg!
Oh, you end up hitting one of the other vessels that was like just pulled up recently. So you puked into someone else's little skiff.
Gross.
Whoops.
No.
But this is where you're at. If you wish to go to your room to retire, or if you wish to explore for a couple moments, we will end our session on the boat. Any other things you want to see or do?
I think Garth is just gonna he's gonna be near the edge, looking out at the shore, and he's just gonna be thinking to himself, "Well, I got to say goodbye to Rumiel in a sense. I hope Dracklin's doing all right on his own. We were only supposed to be gone a few days. Ah, this life." And he kind of looks to the heavens. For a divination wizard, I don't always see these things coming.
You hear a small voice. It seems quite random.
It does indeed. And then, yeah, that's all Garth, I think, that I need to do necessarily. Like, he'll be around. He'll be investigating things as well. But
Yeah.
as the ship is going, I think Garth would know it's easier to poke around a ship once it's made its go into the water than at the beginning when there's bustling and work.
Yeah. Thadric's trying to set up his forge. Anything else there, Thadric? And then
Yeah, I
Ari
think
and
I'd
Valari?
spend the time getting as much crafting done. Maybe get these armors set away, not knowing what's coming up, and
Yeah.
then what was it, number 2 or whatever, also said that there would be a lot of crafting potentially needed on the island. But I think
Yeah.
Thad's pretty stoked to go, and because of his grandfather's stories, like he's like, all right, we're going to help these dudes.
Yeah.
That's what my
Ari?
grandpa sounds like.
Sorry. Ari's gonna put her shoes on the proper feet. And then I'll go help Thad.
All right. You two are hustled off by the older man who is missing his right hand to a small area that looks like it could have been set up for a forge. It's a very small fire that was built on the top deck. There's an anvil, there's some loose metals, there's other tooling for you that you can do some small jobs, nothing huge like building a cannon, but definitely repairing and building weaponry. So no running around with a cannon on your shoulder mentality. Before we get to that inquisitive look there, Garth, about building cannons, Valari, is there anything you and Astro would like to do?
I don't know. I think Valari's just spending most of the day trying to not be sick. But I have one thing I have to say because I can't get it out of my head. I'm on a boat and I'm going faster.
As you're humming some weird song stuck in the back of your head and you're puking over the side of the ship, you do notice on the metal tubing that once in a while you see a little puff of smoke of steam, and then a little spit of water here and there. That it seems that there's a lot going on this vessel. And Valari, this is kind of higher tech equipment that you've seen more in like fancier parts of cities as you've traveled. So it kind of sparks your interests between vomit comets.
Yeah.
So, Garth, what about building a cannon? Do you
Not
need to
building
know?
a cannon. I'm just wondering if you just introduced gunpowder to our world. Just inquisitive minds are wondering.
There are
There-
cannons.
There are potential for cannons, but you didn't actually see them. They're like cannon holds, is what I described them as.
Now-
So, as you can understand that, yes,
Why
that
couldn't you tell me this information sooner so I could have taken a level of gun dude?
of gun dude.
That's
well,
how-
this is where I'm opening things up, and this is where we're ending the session. We have one more session, which spoilers is going to take a bit of some time on this boat where you can understand some of the new things entering the world and interesting foes that you might find, and then potentially get to see where we're going. So come back in 2 weeks. We're going to round out this season in 2 weeks. So our second show of February. We're going to take a short break to do a lot with the stream setup, with our story setup. 2 weeks. It's Edmore, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, yes. In 2 weeks. I said that a few times. How many weeks? I don't know. Maybe 2. But
Too many.
since we have the end of the season coming up, there may be some leveling. So if you all want to take some gun dude, you might be able to gun dude it.
Gun dude for
But
everybody.
we'll see. We'll see what the next session introduces that you can understand.
Mhm.
Happy almost birthday, Ed.
Hey,
Come celebrate with us.
yeah, sounds like a good thing to do. D&D on your birthday.
Come learn about gun dudes.
Come talk about gun dudes, play around on a D&D pirate ship, and that sounds like any young or old man's birthday. D&D pirate ship.
Being a pirate is all right with me.
Yar fiddly dee. Yeah, we're done. Thank you for tuning in. Stick to our socials because up there we do giveaways. We did one that ended today, but with the season, we're in season 5. We're coming up to season 5. So when season 5 kicks off, we might have some other giveaways coming up. So watch those. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.